Radio, the only father-daughter radio show in the history of radio. I'm Gail Bennington.
I'm Ron Bennington, and I'm going to make this the best 2020 ever.
Good.
You know what I mean?
All those other 2020s weren't great, but this one?
We're going for it. Everybody's had so much time off over the break that everybody's screaming at me, fucking great to be back to work, man.
Doesn't it feel good?
Yeah.
I've had 7 coffees already this morning.
This fucking satellite radio is going to really come alive.
Let me have you sit down and hear my 2020 vision, okay?
2020 twin.
Little twin.
Look, here's the deal. Australia's on fire. World War III is starting.
Mm-hmm.
Almost every coach in the NFC East has been fired. Ricky Gervais really gave the high hat to Hollywood. And today is the last day to vote for the Comedy Awards. And I kind of know who's running away with some of these things.
Really?
I think I'm going to give some...
Do you have some leaks?
Yeah, I'm gonna do a couple of leaks here to let people know. But first, I believe the biggest story of 2020: Adela's too thin.
Oh my God! I could not. I sent that to you right away, and I. Excuse me? How is that Adele? I don't understand it.
I don't know why. Not only has she lost what she lost in weight, she gained in years. I did not recognize that woman.
Well, everybody is saying that now she's skinny and she just looks like Sarah Paulson.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly Sarah Paulson.
By the way, Sarah Paulson is somebody that every woman in this building came to gawk at when she was in.
Yes, I was one of them.
Yeah. Women love Sarah Paulson.
Big time.
Men go, who? Sarah who?
And I was with a group of women, all of which we don't even normally congregate as friends, and we were all like, it's Sarah fucking Paulson. I love her. Obsessed.
I think she plays that one part of women digging women.
Always,
you know what I mean? That some women are quiet about.
Yes, I think lesbians like her, bisexuals like her, straight women are like, I would.
Yeah, I would.
That's kind of...
Now I get it.
Yeah.
That's what they say. Now I get it. Do you know the song Sarah Smile was written about Sarah Paulson?
She must have been pretty young.
Sarah Smile. Somebody's going to be the first caller of 2020.
2020.
844 Rock God. 844 Rock God. I'm going to say this, and I don't know when I'm going to go to the phones. First phone caller today. Clear the phones now because that's cheating. First phone caller today will go into the pretty good prize closet.
Ooh, that's a great way to start your year.
And here's going to be the thing. What do you want out of your 2020, okay? Yeah. I know Bobby Kelly's losing weight. It is an amazing thing.
Mm-hmm.
And
he's like our Adele.
He said to me, he goes, I already am smaller than Chris Stanley. Ouch. And he goes, I'm heading for Earl and then Vito. But he's meaning it.
Yeah, he seems dedicated.
Tons of healthy food. Jurassic Park amount of salads and vegetables. I think in the early stages, you're still too obsessed with food.
Speaking of salads, I can't wait till these New Year's Rezzies get out of my salad line. They're clogging up the works. Go back to your sandwich line where you belong, okay?
Fatty. Fat failure.
I'm 24/7 salad lover, all right? We're in salad club here.
Gym rats say the same exact thing.
Yeah.
Gym rats are like, why did these fat people have to come here for the first 2 weeks of January?
Yeah, and I think that's what they say. It lasts 2 weeks. They usually don't even make it to the end of the month.
You know, my chick gave me a Peloton bike, and now I feel like I'm being abused because I didn't want it. I don't want to sit there on a bike all day and worry about myself.
Why do you think I have this Fitbit?
Yeah.
Like, what does this mean?
Fitbit.
By the way, I got a Fitbit and immediately went, okay, so not everyone has Apple Watches. I would look around and be like, all these people bought these Apple Watches? I realize now I don't know the difference. They look the same to me.
I don't understand why that. I thought the watches failed years ago, and yet they're still back. Yeah. And now I hear they're bringing back the glasses in a big way.
I didn't hear that. I know the Samsung watch came out first. That was a huge failure. Apple Watch came out. That didn't really do well. And I guess I don't know what a Fitbit is. I think it counts steps. I'm not sure.
It tells me my steps, my heart rate. Like if I'm having a heart attack, I'll know. right before,
I-
I guess, the pain starts.
I gave one to Chris, and the steps that he took one day were 5, and I'm just like, give it back.
Just forget it then.
Somebody here had interns carrying him in and out. When does our intern come back?
Beginning of February.
Oh, that's so long.
I
know.
He gets
Why
a nice
bother?
This is like a dry spell. Intern drought is the worst.
Is he? Did you invite him to the next Unmasked?
I did.
Because that person's husband
Yes.
is his hero. Is he going to come?
I don't know yet.
It might be nice
inquired.
to have somebody for that guy to play with if he
Yeah.
comes.
Sure.
I kind of feeling that he's not coming because I never see her in any of his projects.
Right. They seem to keep, their personal life separate.
Very separate.
Why though?
I don't know.
You know what I mean? If I had the chance to use somebody professional.
Sounds like Chris doesn't trust it. I heard him go, very separate.
I know. What was
Almost
that mean?
too separate.
I don't know what's going on with
Chris
those
had a very sloppy Christmas week, which is always nice for me because I miss the blackoutness of,
Yeah.
That you get
fun.
7 days where you can legally be blacked out.
Yeah.
Everybody knows it. But you hit all the towns.
Yeah.
You were in
I
Pittsburgh.
was in Pittsburgh. I was in a random town in West Virginia where there's a Hare Krishna temple. I was in Nashville, Tennessee. I was in Biloxi. And then finally, New Orleans.
I feel like you could have been on NPR with that schedule. They love to do that.
Yeah. You should have.
Did you meet Shooter Jennings?
I did not meet Shooter
I
Jennings.
feel bad about that.
Mm-hmm.
I was a fan of his dad, and I think the name Shooter Jennings is the best name of anybody
really
in the history
cool.
of country music.
I did end up at the Sugar Bowl. That was fun.
Yeah, but not the actual Sugar Bowl, right?
I think it was Baylor and
Oh, I thought you were just at the stadium.
no, I was actually I got $8 tickets to the Sugar Bowl.
Is that cheap?
It was that cheap. I just went on StubHub 15 minutes after the game started and got them for $8.
If you go to the Outback Bowl, they'll pay you. Because you're like an
Good.
extra that day.
You get a bloomin' onion, too.
All right, let me see if I can't give you guys. And, the voting is not over, so make sure you vote. This matters a lot to a lot of the comedians that are involved. Some of them, I'll be honest, there's some comedians who are just above it. You know what I mean? Like they don't feel the need. Their life is already great. But Comedian of the Year, I don't remember who you took, Chris, you thought was going to win Comedian of the Year.
I took, I think I took Gary Goldman for Comedian of the Year.
Not in the top 4. Do you remember who you took,
I
Gail?
do. I think I took Nikki Glazer.
Not in the top 4.
You're
So
kidding me.
Wow.
neither one of you.
I voted.
I know. But you know what? You got to get your friends to vote.
I know.
Neither one of you seem to be an influencer.
Fuck.
I know.
All right. Nate Bargatze is in the top 4.
Oh,
Very good.
Bill Burr is in the top 4. Dave Chappelle in the top 4. So, I mean, those 3 names to me are giant right now. I think
Yeah.
Nate has moved into above it all thing. And obviously, those other 2 guys have been above it all for a while. But then there's a young bull making a move. Shane Gillis.
Wow.
Shane Gillis.
Makes sense.
good company.
So if you love any of those people, or, any of the other ones could break out of the secondary pack, but I'm just telling you who's up front here. Now, Special of the Year reads the same way. Nate Bargatze, Bill Burr, Dave Chappelle. I mean, let's face it, the usual suspects
Yeah.
here,
A flippy for real.
Yeah.
That's them.
One new name. Dan Soder.
Oh, making a go of it.
Making a go of it. Any of the Soder fans, you want to get out there, vote. Get your friends to vote as well.
All the soda jerks, get
Yeah.
out there.
TV series is a 2-way race. Fleabag.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
No
Makes sense.
surprise there.
Yeah.
Gemstones.
Wow.
Somewhat of surprise.
That's surprising, yeah.
I enjoy both those shows. I'll be
Yeah.
happy if either one of them wins this thing.
Yeah, both deserving.
Who would you pick, Chris?
The Righteous Gemstones.
Gil.
I would pick Fleabag.
The thing about Fleabag, it's the feel-good story of the year because everybody likes that girl. I call her the new Ricky Gervais.
She is.
Her life is where Ricky's was when The Office first broke. Like you feel like
Yeah, she could do anything.
she's going to be with us for years,
Right.
probably, if she doesn't make the mistake of having a baby because that slows you down.
Don't do it.
Amy,
Believe me.
Amy, it's great that you have a baby, but come on, movies, specials. Late nights kind of surprised me. late night.
I hope my controversial John Oliver is in the top 3.
He is not.
Okay.
Wow.
Maybe
Who did
Chris
you
was
pick?
I
right.
took Jimmy Fallon.
Here are the 3. Noah,
Okay.
and I believe that's the guy with the ark.
Yes.
Trevor.
Oh yeah, Noah Trevor, who seems like he has found an audience with the Zoomers,
Yeah, the youngsters
even
like him.
young as they get.
Yeah, because he like references memes and stuff.
Yeah, BuzzFeed.
Here's a name that's going to surprise you, and the show I just haven't had a chance to catch it, but a lot of our friends are doing it. David Spade.
Wow.
David Spade
really?
doesn't do the political stuff. He
No.
just has fun. And the other guy is Mr. Fun, Jim Fallon. Jim
Yeah.
Fallon.
Nice.
Who said, please don't call me Jimmy. There was a picture that went out of him and his family on the teacups at Disney, and he really looks like the unattentive dad. I mean, he looks like me on the teacups when my kids were little. You know what I mean? Where you're sitting and you're like, look, I'm doing the right thing. I'm on the fucking teacups.
I'm
at
physically
Disney.
here, aren't I? Isn't that enough?
And then album of the year. And this might be the best of them all because everybody came out, put their stuff out there. And I mean, it's very, very competitive right now with albums. Albums come out every fucking 4 a week or something. But so far, the runaway is for 2 Jews who we are friends with both.
Voss?
Voss
Yes.
is in the running. Surprising. Out of nowhere, making me wonder, could this be the one person that beats Voss? Shuley. Shuley,
Wow.
who everybody
yeah.
in this business loves.
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell you don't waste a vote on Emily Blocknick because that fucking album is fantastic.
Yeah.
But I am telling you who's running away with the votes.
Yeah.
Campaigners. Emily is not a campaigner.
Yeah.
We got to get her back in here soon. I love that girl.
Yeah, I love her too. But yeah, if you want to win, you gotta rock the vote.
You got to bring some to get some. Everybody knows that from the world of wrestling.
Vote
You
or
gotta
die.
Huh?
Vote or die.
I
Puff
don't understand. No one's going to die.
Daddy. That's what Puff Daddy told us.
Puff Daddy. Are you still saying that
Oh
name?
my
P.
god.
Diddy? Did he?
Just Diddy.
Shit.
I call him Professor D-Man, which I'm thinking is going to catch on in 2020. So those are the exciting things. Get in and vote. Get in and vote.
TheInterrobang.com to vote for all those categories. TheInterrobang.com.
Now, like I said, you got some let's face it. Voss is a legend. Shuley's going for legendary.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I say this time and time again. You want to beat a man? You got to beat the man. Okay? That's simple. Shuley and Voss, I'm very excited about. Gemstones and Fleabag is fun. Could Dan Soder pull off Special of the Year? Goddamn knows he deserves, you know. And then Shane
I'd like to
Gillis
see
in the land of.
Giants.
And I'm gonna give you even a thing here. Shane tried to pull himself out of it at one point.
Really?
He just didn't think he was worthy.
He's beat down.
Let me tell you something else that Shane Gillis said to me on New Year's Eve. He goes, I don't know how this is happening, but I feel like for the first time, Ron, I do not love you. And I'm saying how mean you can be. Because I've been back in comedy for 2 years. And The Stand always wants me to host their New Year's Eve show. That's part of it. They've made up a tradition out of nowhere.
Yeah.
So I did this 3 times. Basically the first night I was doing comedy, and then last year, and then this year. It's always a weird night. They had a much different of a Stand audience there for New Year's Eve,
Yeah, well,
particularly the first show.
They're a new stand, so you know.
Yeah, but also they're such a young audience normally, and then they went in with a big ticket thing, so they brought in. There were
different
suddenly
vibe.
older people in the room that people don't work in front of older people. None of it was easy for Ronnie B. I'm not going to lie to
Sure.
you. Some of the other comics struggled with it.
Yeah.
And there was a comedian, I'm not going to say which one, but it wasn't Shane. So he looks over and he goes, Ron, what the fuck is with this audience? He goes, are they terrible? And I go, Shane, no, it wasn't to Shane. I said, masked person, I think it's the best audience I've ever worked in front of in my life. And the audience started clapping. And he goes, you're fucking kidding me. I go, I'm cutting a special with these people. And I'm just having fun.
Sure.
And they all held a grudge as the night went on and the drinks were going.
Sure.
They
Yeah.
felt like I wasn't there for them. Then there was another instance that seems like it got out there that I said to Tim Dillon, this is the myth that's already been started. There's been an attack in Times Square. A lot of people killed, a lot of people injured. Don't say anything about it. Just be funny. Now, Tim is saying it happened before his set. That did not happen. It could have happened between his set and midnight when everybody comes up together and is having fun and toasting. But big tough guy Tim Dillon, who's so outrageous, the look of fear and shock and panic in his eyes. That's what I always is funny to me. All the edgiest comics are the most sensitive ones.
They are. Anyone who does a roast actually does not want to be roasted.
And they're like, this is the way we tell each other we love each other. No, it isn't. Or grow up and just
Also,
say I love you.
I've seen the way comics light up when other comics or friends compliment them on their work, on their life,
Right.
on a joke. They love it. They don't go, hey, come on, stop joking around. Why don't you give me a punch in the balls, you know?
Can I tell you one person who doesn't like sensitivity at all? Not comfortable with sensitivity, doesn't like it. Bonnie McFarlane. Now, let me also say this. All the young comedians, all the young women doing comedy are doing a version of Bonnie McFarlane. Bonnie McFarlane
Yeah.
is one of the most influential, if not the most influential person of this century,
Yes.
the comedians.
I think it's hard not to mimic her for us, you know, comics. They you hear it a lot.
Yeah, it's constant. Did you just refer to yourself as a comic?
No.
Did you say to us comics? I think you did.
No, I did not.
Earl, play that back. Look, Earl doesn't know how to play anything.
Earl,
back.
play it back
He just
and-
went. He just went like this. Siri, Siri. Earl, I'm going to ask you, Voss or Shuley?
I'm going to go Rich Voss.
Really? That's your way of stabbing Shuley in the back once again.
Again.
What is it with blacks and being anti-Semitic? Because it's constant, and I've had it, Earl.
Yeah.
I've marched
We
with
see too much in the city.
20,000 people. I didn't really march with them, but I retweeted them.
Yeah, me
And I
too.
didn't retweet them, but I did think, oh, I wish I knew how to retweet.
I put something up on my stories, so it was gone in 24 hours. I don't know if that's enough.
Did you send the pictures in for stories today? Yeah, that you took out for
Oh, no, I didn't.
Yeah.
Sorry.
We're going to do the happy 2020.
A little twin, twin, twin.
2020. Dude, here's how much people are ready to get back to work. Chris called me yesterday just to go over scheduling stuff. He never does this. He stayed on the phone with me for like 40 minutes.
It was nice.
It was nice. It was pleasant. That should be our relationship.
Yes.
We're co-workers. That this fucking daddy issue thing that you have with me needs to stop. Earl has it too. Now Vito told me this, and I don't. We didn't let anybody know about this. Vito was terribly sick with bronchitis over his break,
Yeah.
and the reason is that girlfriend of his is running him into the ground. He's going
Too many activities.
He's going to wine tasting parties. He's went upstate. They went apple picking this late in the year.
They're all dead.
But you sound good today, Vito.
Yeah, I feel a lot better. I didn't leave my house from Thursday to this morning when I came here.
And then Vito said this to me. He goes, can I just tell you something? He goes, I've been sick. He goes, I haven't gotten out of bed. But he goes, I just want to tell you, I appreciate you checking in every day. And I go, haven't the other people? He goes, I haven't heard shit from Chris. And he goes, I heard from Gail once,
I thought that was enough.
told her I was sick, and then she never checked back.
I guess
Yeah.
you're right. I should have followed up.
Rod was checking in every day, asking how I was, and it made me feel really good.
And I also told you, dude, take a couple days off at the beginning of the
Yeah.
year. It's fine. You know what I mean? I'd rather you come back.
That's
Because I was,
thoughtful. I didn't even think to
You're a
say
good
something
man.
like that.
oh, yeah, what I said was so, I mean, fucking choice. It's like Tom Hanks said it.
Dude, I feel like an idiot. You know what I said? Feel better. Like, as though, like,
Like thoughts and prayers, you basically
yeah, I
said to me.
basically gave him thoughts and prayers.
Oh, also, unlike Chris, who had a fucking blackout party vacation,
Yeah.
I went to Australia with buckets of water
Oh,
and handed
God.
them out to people.
That's
Again,
amazing.
all I did was a couple stories and retweets. I didn't. Oh, my God.
Drank in New Orleans.
The fire, the beds are burning. No one's ever bringing that fucking song back from Midnight Oil, but they predicted it back in the 80s. But there have been a couple of guys that are saving animals, and women online are just like, I want to fuck his brains out.
Okay, I
Man, do
know.
they like guys that save animals.
There's one particular dude who's holding a koala.
Yes,
And he's like kind of shirtless. Like he has like something draped over him. I don't know.
yeah,
The ladies are talking.
Yeah. You can't find. Is that
No,
him?
that's not him.
That's a guy.
What?
It's a model
That's like
posing.
a beefcake shot.
Yeah.
I'm gonna find this hot Australian.
Maybe it's a wombat. I mean, I honestly.
Oh, I
was
thought it
hard
was a
to-
koala.
It was hard for me to focus on, just hot guy. Just Google hot guy Australia.
You know
fire.
what? I think Karen Feehan put him up.
She did because I responded to it.
But did you respond?
Probably just like an eggplant emoji or something.
You know, she's single.
I know
She's single
she
now,
is.
fellas. I saw her sometime over the thing. She wasn't even working, just hanging at the stand one night.
Oh really?
These
Just
kids, they
hanging-
work so hard.
Bro,
It's not going to be on her
Instagram.
fucking Twitter. It's Instagram,
Instagram.
dude.
Instagram.
See, go to her stories
God,
and see if
he's
that fucking
so
works.
Elderly.
You know why?
he
Because
went on
he's
Facebook first.
okay, boomer. He's boomer size.
Dude, it's 2020. Your time
hit the
is
top.
over.
See her stories because she's not going to put that in her regular.
Yeah,
It's frozen. It's loading.
You're fucking frozen.
I feel frozen.
it's your favorite movie. Makes sense.
Oh, I don't even think. Yeah, I think this was during the break. I went to see the Sandra Bernhard holiday show. It was so fucking good, and I mean, she's just great. But you guys are gonna love this more than that. So I'm sitting there like a gentleman, you know, at the table, and it's at Joe's Pubs, and she's up there, and her audience fucking adores her. The Sandyland audience, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They embarrassed the Bennington audience by adulation. I thought when I go out with the creeps, I get nice responses. No one cries the way they did at this show, but she's singing a song, and then she looks over and sees me and just gives me the point.
Oh,
and then
that's cool.
it was one of those things that all the tables are close together. So it was me, my chick, a couple of cool gay guys, and a kind of a hip couple. They, who had been totally ignoring me in the pre-show and were talking to each other, suddenly turned around and looked at me.
La-di-da.
Yeah. And then she's like this, the woman's like this. You want any wine? And I go like this. I'm a fucking alcoholic. I go, do you realize what you're fucking offering me?
Dare you?
I'd eat sugar before I drank fucking wine, you crazy bitch. No one fucking likes you. She also said this was really cute because I heard her telling the gays after. She's like this. I didn't know she could sing. I just know her from radio.
That's really funny.
She goes, I'd never expected that much.
Oh my God.
And then I ran into some of our listeners there. It was great. And then I saw the girl who used to be her producer, and it was her, and now I think runs that whole channel. But I leaned in to whisper in her ear that show was so great. But I think she thought I was coming in to give a very sensuous kiss.
Yeah. That's always awkward when that happens. The lean in to
Yeah.
say hey, or the lean in to say something,
Yeah.
and then they're like, I guess we're kissing.
Yes.
You could tell that they didn't want to do this.
Right.
Now we're both doing something we don't want to do.
I felt like Harvey Weinstein, which, by the way, good luck, Harvey. It starts today. You know what
I think
makes
he
me
has a
mad?
chance.
I think he does. I think he's going to pull this out because his accuser is an actress and has been acting her whole life. The lawyer already put that out.
Great defense.
Earl was up to being a jury trial, and I was praying that he would get Harvey Weinstein. First of all, Earl is not going to find anyone guilty.
No.
You could be a fucking baby stabber, and Earl would not go against you. Look at him. He's can barely walk
I
now.
know.
Just let him go.
Also, I see that he's going back and staying in the hospital every night, right? Right around the corner from me.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I was thinking I could probably just drop in. I don't think it would be hard to get to
I
him.
don't
And,
think so.
you know, I could go over, bring a Sports Illustrated, and talk movies with him.
Sure. By the way, the tennis balls on there is nice effect. You know what I mean? It's a
Well, you
really-
got to have them.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like I should be able to invent something for Shark Tank that would be very easy to replace those tennis balls because they're tacky looking.
They're tacky looking, and also, like, why don't they take it upon themselves to make something a nice material to slide on the ground?
They know they need it.
Yeah, it's very silly.
It's lazy.
All right, I got a breaking news story. We just got a message from Frankie McDonald, the great weatherman out of Nova Scotia.
Great.
Why are you looking it up? Just fucking relax, Chris.
Okay.
And he says, "You will interview me again."
Yes.
Wow.
And then he also said, "Hey, I'm doing great so far."
Good. I mean, if he's predicted it, it's probably true.
Yeah, I guess so.
I mean, that's what he does.
I guess so. All right, you know what? At the end of the day, folks, you got to make up your. You got to pick a Jew, Boss, Shuli, two that I consider my best friends.
Yeah.
I love them both. Maybe I shouldn't even vote.
You want to step out of the race for that reason?
Mm-mm. I just don't want to say it out loud. Vote today. Get your friends to vote. If you look at some of this, when Nate Bargatze won his like 2 years ago, everybody was going like, "Oh my God, what a breakthrough!" Now Nate, there's nothing he could do wrong. Like Nate's the kind of person
Yeah.
that Nate could probably get any studio head on the phone right now.
Anyone. He's in demand. I demand him.
He's a mover.
People love him. I love him. I'm not going to lie to you.
Now-
He's an unmasked that I've been wanting to do for a while.
Now, do you think that since you kind of leaked who looks like they have the best shot at winning some of these categories, do you think some of the other nominees would then hop on and start campaigning for someone else?
That's
like
a great idea.
Like a Julian Castro would do for, Elizabeth Warren.
Is that who he picked?
Yep. He endorsed her today.
I didn't know that. Well, an endorsement from Julian Castro gets you another dozen votes.
Hmm?
I don't even know where he's from. And he's not the same Castro who ran Cuba all those years, is
No,
he?
but he does
No.
have a Castro brother, and his brother grew a beard so that people could tell the difference between the two of them.
That's interesting.
Yeah. What's
So
the other
he's got
Castro?
a twin?
Yeah, who's also in politics.
I saw this on New York One, and I know you don't get New York One anymore, but I'm going to update you. There were twins born. One on this side of right before New Year's Eve, the other on the other side. So they're twins. They're not born in the same year, and they're not born in the same decade.
Wow.
That's weird.
Crazy.
Now, if you were a twin, and I wouldn't wish that on anyone, they scare me. Would you want to be the first or the second twin? Would you want to be the older or the younger?
I want to be the older.
older,
Really?
older twin.
The younger's going to live longer.
Yeah, but just by like a minute or two.
So,
That is more life, though. I'm switching to younger.
too late, Chris.
No, you already picked
In
your
this
old ass
fucking
twin
game.
like me.
Stuck. Stuck in this freakish
I'd rather
older twin.
be Miracle Baby New Year's Eve rather than Baby New Year.
I always wonder what it'd be like if people, instead of yelling at me at midnight, it's not your birthday anymore, that they would say, Happy
Happy
birthday.
birthday,
And then, you know. But you wouldn't really have a party. Your party would still have to be shitty.
Yeah.
Anyone born in the Christmas thing, doing that thing, they're like, here's your Christmas and birthday present
Yeah.
together.
Yeah, it's not a good thing. I mean, if you're planning, if you're doing some family planning, I would say just be kind and make sure your kid doesn't have too close of a birthday to Christmas.
I know when I was about 6, I was like, can we play the birthday thing down? And I stayed that way the rest of my...
Yeah.
This year, I embraced my birthday because I had a couple sad things happen this year.
Yeah.
So I'm choosing life.
Choose life.
And I know not everybody wants to hear about it, but that little Juju has given me so much fun and excitement that I got to focus on her. You know?
It's crazy having like a little one around this time of year. It's
Yeah, it
like
makes it all funner.
Yeah, it really, because when you're a family of adults, things get pretty silly around the holidays. You're just like, what are we doing? Presents? This seems nuts.
To me,
Save your money.
This is one of those things that was really funny. So Gail's mom always throws scratch offs into everybody's
That's great.
thing, right?
Yeah.
So into everybody's stocking, you also get some scratch offs. So people were sitting there scratching the quarters and stuff, and then all of them went down. I turn around, Juju has a quarter, and she's just doing scratch off. And I'm like, no one said, here's how you do a scratch off.
She was like,
And
is
then
that what we're doing?
But she just was like, I say that this is the thing everyone's doing. But she was treating it like it was coloring. Like, I'm going to try to really clear that off. So next year, I'm going to let her do my scratch offs.
Yeah, she enjoyed it.
All right, we're going to send somebody into the pretty good prize closet
This is
by being
exciting.
the first caller of 2020. And Chris, if you have a sounder or a song like
Yeah.
"You're the first caller
You're the
of
first.
2020," then
Yeah.
like really bring
Yeah.
the
Like
orchestra up.
swelling
Like,
music.
yeah,
What do you got?
exactly.
I don't have that. I don't have that.
Well, give me lasers. You got the laser sounds.
I can find some lasers, yeah.
2020.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Here we go. Here's some lasers.
What?
That was a
More like
violin.
this- Oh, God. Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean it's a '70s video game.
Pew, pew, pew. You're the first caller of 2020. Pew, pew. The first caller is Bill in Michigan.
Bill!
Hey,
Congratulations,
buddies. Happy
you got-
New Year.
You're going into the pretty good prize closet. And yes, Happy New Year.
Yes. Will you marry me, Bill?
Oh, that's a good one. I love that song. Chris, you looking that up?
It's his song.
What are you
Awesome. Yeah,
planning?
Happy New Year.
What's your plans for the big 2020?
Creeps with Kids in Detroit on the 18th. I'm pretty psyched for it.
I'm pretty
Nice.
psyched for that show too. I think it's the only show that we're doing that weekend, and it's going to be the first show that the Creeps get back together.
Yes, the 2020 leg.
Yes, but what I've said, I don't want to do this on the same fucking pace as last year. I
Right.
want to do some shows, but I'm
Right,
not.
gone every weekend.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, and all the other Creeps, of course, they've been playing clubs every weekend since then.
They just want to get back to it.
Yeah. All right. Pretty good prize closet for you then.
Yeah, Bill.
Chris, you got a
Awesome,
plug
thanks.
for Michigan?
You go to creepstour.com for tickets. It's happening Saturday, January 18th at the Emerald Theater in Detroit, Michigan.
Earl, make sure he gets some nice
Something
stuff.
that he wants.
That's for Bill.
yeah.
You got to bring it up, too. You gotta,
Oh, yeah.
sexy
True.
lesbian. Earl, you're very embarrassed that you forgot that and missed it.
Yeah, missed the layup there. That was a big one.
Gail feels the same way.
Yeah, I feel dumb.
By her. Is that the name of that song, Earl, or did I get that wrong?
That was just the bells.
That's Belzer. That's the Richard Belzer song. They let everybody else get coaches before them.
I don't know what they're waiting for.
I think you'd have to say the Cowboys have an improvement at coach after
Yes.
all these years. And the Redskins, I think, got a big improvement at coach.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because Rivera, he's always turned the franchise around.
Oh, he's done it once. What was the other one?
He was Carolina, but he was also, I think, there was only Carolina?
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, he was the head coach there for a long time.
I think 10
I
years.
thought they were crazy to get rid of him.
Yeah, I thought it was shocking. I mean, it's the 1 year they didn't have Cam Newton.
That's true.
I mean, what the fuck?
That's true.
And he had to use 2 backup quarterbacks.
Yeah, and they were doing good for a while. Then
Yeah.
then they ran into trouble.
Yeah. And they had the fucking best running back in the league, arguably, with
And maybe the
McCaffrey.
coach should have been better. You know what I mean?
Actually, no,
Maybe you're making the point. Earl, you fucking proud of your fucking cheap shot fucking artist, Clowney, making
that
sure Wentz can never end the season on his fucking feet.
No.
If you go back and watch that, I don't know how they did not fucking call that.
Yeah.
It was like literally like an old school pylon,
Yeah.
shot in the back of the head,
Helmet to
then
helmet.
his fucking then the front of his head. But Clowney is one of those people. J.J. Watt is another. The league loves.
Yep.
They acted like J.J. Watt won that fucking game because he had one sack.
That one sack, and then I guess that just destroyed Josh Allen's brain.
I know that I'm not, like, there's something about J.J. Watt I've never liked.
Well, physically, his face, he looks like a douchebag.
Thank you.
I mean, that doesn't help.
So does his little brother.
Yeah, they both look alike. They both look like assholes. They look like fucking bro dicks.
Bro dicks. Is that short for broken dicks?
I'm sure their dicks are broken as well. Nothing else
Broke
works
dicks.
on
That
them.
would just fucking hurt me.
Yeah, the Bills absolutely fucking collapsed. That was fucking just sad to watch, especially if you're a Bills fan.
Or I'd bet on them the way you did.
Yeah, or bad. Yeah,
You know,
they did
if
cover.
they would have been they were the only visiting team that lost, and they were the only one that had a really big lead.
Yeah, 16-0 at the fucking half, and then they just gave the fuck up.
Just sitting there at snack time. So cute.
I wish Chris looked like that at snack time.
Chris is just.
Love a snack.
You look like you lost weight though.
You did.
I don't think so. I ate a lot of fried food, Ron.
What kind of? What'd you eat?
A lot of fried oysters, a lot of fried shrimp, a lot of bread, a lot of hurricanes. They never stop selling them there. In case you didn't
The
know.
hurricanes are just those big sugary
Just giant
fucking.
sugar fucking.
That they serve in a tube.
Yeah, do you worry that you're getting enough alcohol in there though?
You know what? I do worry. Because I'm like, this
There's
is like
no way.
$10, so I'm guessing this is like 2 pints of fucking booze. But how much is there? Is this mostly just slush?
I feel like it's not even 2 pints.
Yeah.
That's my thought. I don't know
It's-
exactly what it is.
It's fun to drink, but I like that's why then I double down on them
Where
to
do
make
you
sure.
put it though? It's like then you're gonna holding it, and
That's kind of fun for a little while, but then it gets old.
you can't really belly up with one of those things. Like you have to be on the move. You can't just put that on the bar. Don't touch this.
Chris,
Put
I'm
the
glad
back
you're
of them
still
down.
out there fucking nailing it. You know what I mean? You're still fucking going for it. Well, I never hear the bells if you leave me. All right, I just got an update from the iBang that
Oh.
Voss and Shuley thing is going back and forth.
Wow.
Wow.
Your vote counts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like this is a moment that it really matters.
Other than that, can Soder break through? Can Shane Gillis be the shock of a lifetime?
Now,
Those are the big stories.
I voted for Rich Voss during the special. Now, can I also vote for Shuley, or am I just locked in?
Well, there's no cops fucking following you around. You do whatever you want.
Thank you, Ron. Thank you for letting me know about that.
I guess we know how you're voting right now. So you've made it very clear.
Oh, look at our little picture today. It's nice. And it just says Happy New Year 2020. Man, it's so quiet out there on the streets.
Yeah.
You forgot what a madness Midtown was for so long. Never hear the bells if you leave me.
By the way, that pic is up on our Instagram, which
Yeah.
is Bennington SXM.
Chris doesn't understand because he goes to Facebook.
Mhm.
Boomer.
He's such a
I'm a
boom.
book bro. That's what we call each other.
book bro.
Book bros.
He's a
I
book. He's a book broner. I'm worried because Chris might get drafted if we're going into
Yeah.
this.
You think he'd pass the physical?
Well, if he loses 180, he will.
Looks like I'm keeping this weight on, everyone.
You wouldn't go fight for our freedoms? You wouldn't want to be a troop that we support?
I don't know if
We
I'll be
have to
fighting for.
support you.
Yes, you have to support me, but I don't know if I'd want to. I'm not going to fight in this World War III.
Why?
I don't think we're fighting for any of our freedom here.
Well, we are fighting for our freedom. Freedom to do the good things that
Yeah.
we like to do.
Yes, the good.
Like, do you enjoy like shopping and like?
Yeah, I like
you know.
online shopping.
How about the fried foods that you enjoy so much? You think that's going to be around if we lose this?
No, they
to
won't
Iran?
let you have any of those things. Fried oysters.
Oh, you know what?
Please.
Chris, you should write a book called Iran from World War III.
I just can't see myself signing up and being an effective military combatant for America. Yeah.
You know what? You would because I see you as a bayonet, man. I see you as you run out of bullets. This was the weirdest thing for me. Seeing that thing going down and being taken back to 1979. And that was a time where I'm like, what am I going to be in a fucking war? I see her all nodding along. It looked exactly the same. And now, this morning, the death to America, and there was just a huge amount of people in the streets. And I'm like, fuck, this has brought this thing back. How could this be 4 decades? We're still fucking around with the same people. The Middle East is a nightmare now. It was then. It was 100 years before that, and then 1,000 years before that, 1,000 years. It's always been a fucking nightmare. I was watching Fox and Friends this morning, and I'm going to say the truth. It seems more Fox than Friends, but a name is a name. And they're like, we've got to trust our intelligence agencies. I'm like, you're the same fucking people.
Yeah.
Who were talking about the dark fucking thing and the darkness.
Deep state.
Deep
And the
state,
deepness.
Yeah.
Now you trust.
Now it's
So-
time to trust.
I'm going to go down to the train station and kiss Chris goodbye when he's
please don't.
on his way to 1917.
I'm gonna give you a little handkerchief for you to remember me by.
I'm going to die very
Dearest
quickly.
Chris. Well, not much has changed back here at Sirius XM. Our intern still hasn't arrived.
I hope he too wasn't drafted.
Why won't you support the fucking troops, dude?
I don't think me going into the military is helping anything. I am not.
Here's
I'm
what
not-
I want to do.
Yes, Ron.
You go into the military.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know, we'll be at a Knicks game or something.
Yeah.
They bring out a giant box, and I'm out there like, I don't know what's in the box. It lifts up, it's you. I start crying, I run and jump into your thing, and then you take me out for ice cream.
Yeah.
Now that sounds like a beautiful moment that could happen, but I'm not a great. I don't think I'll make it through boot camp, Ron.
You will make it through boot camp with honors.
They're gonna drum me out of there, man.
Dude, they're going to find your donut, then everybody is going to put soap in a pillowcase and beat you up. It's
Yeah.
fine.
No, but it ends terribly.
I mean, it seems like Black Twitter is jumping into this. Why aren't you? You know
Black
what I
Twitter
mean?
loves it. I've heard about this.
Wait, I'm confused. What's going on?
Their response to World War III and their memes were so funny and so concerning for people because people were laughing, but then also being like, "This is scary," but also this is funny.
Earl, are you on Black Twitter?
No, I'm not on Black Twitter.
I'm going to say this, Earl. You're not black enough for me.
I think I'm pretty black for it.
You
You're
don't
black-
even know what Black Twitter is.
I know what Black Twitter is.
What
I'm
is
just
it?
not on it. It's just black people on Twitter.
Why aren't you on it?
Yeah, why
If
don't
yours
you
is
get
black as
involved
you
and why
say.
don't you make funny memes like they do?
No, obviously, I haven't seen this because I'm not on even white Twitter.
Right.
But what did they write that was so funny?
Just basically, they were making just like memes and things, joking about the fact that they know that World War III is coming, and that that they're all going to be drafted, and making light of it in this very funny kind of nihilistic way.
It's a giant joke to the people on the internet of World War III, and it's kind of weird.
It's weird, but it's funny because it also a lot of young people making these memes, and we're creating a very strange generation where like they have this kind of sarcastic, nihilistic humor.
Well, they meme it. I don't even know
Yeah.
if that's a way to express humor. You know what I mean? I don't know if TikTok is really humorous past it. Well, that's weird. You know what I mean? But their humor doesn't make any sense. Now, here's a young Zoomer, Natasha Bertram, and she's very centered.
Yeah. She's serious.
She is
I
serious.
mean, she's working at Politico.
Can we ever get her to come over here? Is she across the street or is she out of Washington?
I'm gonna find out. I'm not 100% sure.
She's
where
my
she
favorite
is.
out of all the young.
Yeah.
And because you know what I like about her, she doesn't really do politics. Like you'll never hear her mention a poll.
right.
She's breaking this story. Bolton is willing to testify in the Trump impeachment if subpoenaed. Here's the thing. Bolton's thrilled. He fucking always wanted to overthrow Iran. And then they kick him out before, and then they do it without him. They're like, no, he's always trying to overthrow Iran. We don't want him. And then they kick him out. And then they, are trying to get a regime change in Iran. Chris, when
Yeah.
Johnny comes fucking marching, it's
Yeah.
going to be fucking when Chrissy comes marching.
It's gonna be bad if they
Why don't
give me
you
a
go in
gun.
the buddy system, you and Vito?
I don't want to be in there with a buddy or just solo. All right, I'm not going to join the army to fight World War III.
Chris Stanley's body is a moldering in the grave.
What about this, Chris?
Terrible. Yeah.
Picture this.
Yeah.
A bunch of fucking 9/11. They all fucking surround you, right?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, you just do this.
Yeah.
You take out 2 fucking hand grenades and go, we're all gone, motherfucker.
I mean, that sounds
That'd be
effective.
cool.
Yeah.
But I don't want to like suicide myself. You know, I don't even to take out all
You
these
used that
9/11s.
correctly.
Yeah, I think he did.
Suicide
I think
myself.
suicide myself is what people...
I think I'd be much better off over here in the mainland, Ron. I don't think they should be shit.
Mainland? They're mainland over there. They're Asian. They're a bigger mainland than us. Who do you think we're fighting?
I
Hawaii?
mean, we're the island in that way.
I don't think I'm going to be able to liberate any Iranians. They're not going to be listening to me.
You know,
We're
I
just going to
just,
have a quick regime change.
just opened my Twitter and realized that I got a DM from Frankie McDonald
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah, he's ready to be...
Yeah, he's ready.
I'll be honest, I didn't even know that's where Iran was. I thought it was way more to the left.
to the
What do you mean
left.
to the left?
I mean, to the west.
How
Dan
far
from-
west did you think it was?
Iran's
Like,
huge.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
big, but a lot of it's sand.
Okay.
It's right next to Afghanistan, Chris.
Yeah.
I had no idea it was next to
It's
Afghanistan.
betwixt Iraq and Afghanistan.
Fuck.
Like a
They're
creamy
stuck
center.
between Iraq and a hard place.
Afghanistan being the hard place.
By the way, you know that none of our European allies are even fucking talking about this?
No.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. I just was reading New York Times this morning, the article about the wine tariffs that are being imposed
Yeah.
on European wines, like 100%.
100% tariff, yeah.
And this is devastating for businesses in the U.S. that
Why?
are based. Well, the amount of importing.
We have too much wine here in this country. You know, I get all my wine from upstate New York, and it's fucking fine. Virginia's got a nice wine thing going. Pennsylvania, Delaware.
The North Fork of Long Island. I've been to a couple of their
Killing.
wineries.
But this is also going to kill. It's not just wine. It's like the fancy cheeses and meats. Like we're losing a lot of the best of the best.
Really? Because I feel like cheddar is all we really need.
Sharp?
Yes, sure. What do I
White
want, a dull-
American?
What do I want, a dull cheddar?
Now a cheese plate is. Would you like white American or yellow American?
Both?
I would say this is when I want a cheese plate, I go, bring me the stank.
Give me the stankiest you got.
Give me the stankiest of the stank. I want people throwing up when they smell the cheese I'm going to be eating. Now I feel like eating the cheese plate.
I know, so good.
What do you call it when it's like Italian meats and cheeses on it?
Charcuterie.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Chris, you're going to do very well.
I
in the
don't.
military.
There's that. I'm going to do terribly. I have no discipline. They're going to fucking drum me out of there. It's going to be bad.
Then you're a lone wolf.
Drum
You'll
you
probably be
out.
a fucking sniper.
What do you mean drum you out?
Snipers have to be sneaky. They're going to fucking see me coming a mile away.
Drum you
Ron.
out is when they play the drum and they make you leave in the middle. Like you don't even have a ride back to the States.
Like in Starship Troopers,
Yes.
when you have to leave.
Yeah.
What is it, Loser Lane or something?
Washout lane.
Yeah, that's it.
They're going to wash me the fuck out.
You know Dez that was on you?
Yes.
I saw her on The Mentalist.
Oh, how's she doing?
She looks great. She was middle-aged then. It was like fucking 2010. Now, I read this and see, they're like, we just finished a decade that we can't really put a handle on. You know what I mean? We don't know what the whole thing of that decade.
Right.
There's no music. There's no
It's an identity crisis.
fashion. It's an
Yeah.
identity crisis. Then someone made the point in another magazine article that the first decade of the millennium doesn't feel that different, that we haven't done enough new things. Now, here's what I thought. Go backwards in time. You don't have to be there. For the early 1920s, we all know what that decade was about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was partying. It was the roaring 20s.
Yeah. Flappers.
All right. The 30s, the Depression.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone
Dust
got that. The 40s, Greatest Generation, World War II. The 50s, that move to the suburbs.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Beginning of rock
American
and roll.
dream.
The 60s was the fucking 60s.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like everybody knows what the 60s are. The 70s, they used to call the me decade because people were started to go, look, we've done all this other shit. What about me? I'm going to do my own dope. I ain't sharing it.
Yeah.
And I'm going to dance disco. The 80s, that's when we started to become like connected. It was the first connection of cable TV, video, Video killed the radio star. CNN, ESPN. We weren't local. It was the first time that we had globaled up.
Right.
You know? And if I said to you, 80s music, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Sure.
Yeah.
Everybody knows.
Definitive sound.
The 90s. We started to fucking really be online then, you know?
Yeah.
And the 90s music, the beginning of it, so great.
Grunge.
Everybody loved. The 2000s.
What's happening?
The 2000s, I think, was the beginning of phone culture.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Like
Everyone
text,
had a cell phone.
Yeah,
phone into texting.
right. Has anything changed? It's gotten better. You know what I mean? In terms of the technology's
Right.
gotten stronger.
I guess like by the tens was like now everyone started to have a smartphone as opposed to just have a cell
Right.
phone
Yeah.
and text. But
And-
you're right, there's not a like
And like when MySpace became Facebook, it's not a real change. It's a change for them,
right.
but for our way of being,
It's just a different layout, really.
yeah.
Of something that's essentially the same as social network.
Now I understand not having a handle on the teens yet, but to not have a handle on the aughts is the weird thing.
Here's an interesting thing. This blew everybody away on the internet over the fucking weekend. They said, if we were to reboot Wonder Years, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which was this big nostalgic show of what, the late 80s or something?
Yeah.
If we rebooted that today, we would be showing children in 2005. Kids would not look at somebody in 2005 and go, what? What did they do?
Yeah.
You know what I
Because
mean?
kids in
Weird.
2005 would still have phones. They'd still be
Still be on the internet.
Right. But remember in the
Right.
80s, even when you heard the Joe Cocker covering the Beatles, you're like, oh my God, this touches something inside me.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? I don't think you could do that now. I don't think people would feel like I haven't been around that enough because those songs are still playing and
yeah.
or songs that
There's-
sound like them are
There's
playing.
no
It's
nostalgia for that decade.
Like
What you're going to do? Oh, back then we used to watch Survivor and we used to
Yeah.
watch American Idol.
even like the pop hits are like feel like they weren't that long ago.
Because
You
they
know what I
sound
mean?
like the pop hits today.
Right.
Ariana Grande would have been fine to go along with Britney Spears.
Like hey ya is like feels like that just happened, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So what happened?
I don't know, but now for some reason instead of having a decade, it was 20 years lumped in together in a weird
But
world.
they always make a point of, oh, the technology's changing so fast that 3 years is the way 10 years used to be or 20 years. But you're like, yes, but not culturally.
right.
Culturally, what were we doing back in the 2000s? Oh, yeah. Back then, we used to watch superhero movies. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just a different Spider-Man? That's all. That's the only change?
So weird.
Yeah. You know, I think it might have been Jesse McLaren who tweeted this, but similarly, it was like, we're as far now from the premiere of that 70s show than the 70s was when the show started. Same idea. Like
So we would be able to do now that 2000 show.
right.
Oh, wow.
Now, when that 70s show came out, everyone was like, what the fuck? People used to live that way?
Hmm.
Hanging out.
You couldn't do that.
You couldn't do
No.
that. Earl, what happened? You seem to be the cultural guy of the show.
I think things just became so centralized and very, like everything became very singular. Like in pop music now, everyone features with each other as opposed to having a distinct sound from everyone else. And that's the same with movies. There's all, superhero movies now as opposed to the 70s had a variety of movies that were cultural touchstones.
Here's the other thing. Is now, like, if you're a songwriter, you're there to serve the song in the record label that's hired you and work along with 40 other people. You don't have somebody off on their own bringing in their voice. So that could be it. But at the same time, I don't think that we all follow the mass culture together. I think that's what we're missing.
Yeah, we're
You know
in
what I
our
mean?
own little world.
Yes, but it's because we get to have our own experiences with our music, with our thing, that we don't feel as part of it together.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong.
No, that makes sense to me. That we're Like, even if we're all experiencing the same thing, we're segregated as we're doing it.
I also think is because we don't like the Star Wars could be gigantic, but it comes and goes so fast. You don't sit around and debate it. You don't talk about it
Yeah.
for months and months at a time. I mean, even if you look at things like The Irishman, when that came out, everybody was like giving their opinion, but you're not now. And I kind of feel like people talked about The Godfather for 2 years.
So maybe it's like that we have so much at our fingertips and so much content that we never have to go, oh, this is the thing that defines us, because we don't have to do that. We don't have to be defined by a couple movies, a couple bands, and a couple genres of music.
But that also keeps you away from being part of sharing something.
Yeah.
See, I'll give you another thing. At one point, people were like, I'm going out for a cheeseburger next Friday. It's going to be great. And now you could easily eat 3 cheeseburgers a day, and no one would even see you doing it. But it used to be like, let's say if you lived in a town, you're like, I'm going to drive over 2 towns and go to that McDonald's. Mm-hmm. Think of getting fries, too. You know what I mean? Like, it was something exceptional.
Yes.
Where now... I don't even think a family would have a pizza night because you could get a fucking pizza anytime you want for $5.
Right.
It used to be kids, Friday nights, pizza night, or dad's going out for ice cream. But now,
It was an event.
yeah, there aren't events anymore.
But even the stuff like that you don't want to be, let's say you don't necessarily want to take part in, it's hard not to because the world is built that way to keep us kind of more apart. Like, for example, online shopping. You might go like, hey, I don't really like that. I'd rather shop in stores. Well, now everyone's doing that. So if you go to a store, they're like, we don't have that. We can get it for you. Do you want it sent here? And then you're like, oh, it's set up where the convenience of staying home and staying in my own weird world and having something sent to me is the norm. And it's weirder if I try to make the world do something that is old. You know what I mean?
Right.
You kind of they are forcing you to give into it.
Yeah, I think it just happens that way in a weird fucking way. Like, it isn't even like they plan it.
Right.
It's just like the trend starts to go in that direction. Here's some people think they... Wait, Earl, you think you got something first?
No, I was just saying, like, when I used to go, like, I still call it record shopping. You could start a whole conversation waiting online with your particular purchase. You're like, someone could be like, oh, you're going to buy that? Or you could say, like, hey, if you really like this, you should check this out.
But now you could do that online, right? Like, you can be at your house and just fucking write in Reddit or something. Does anybody know a band I should check out? And do that. But you don't really meet those people. You can get the same information that you're talking about.
You
Earl.
probably could even get more. You could get way more
Right.
information.
And listen to the music immediately.
Right.
But that also makes things less precious. You know what I mean?
Right. In the same way that we talk about that young people have all music at their fingertips. So they could be like, I really like music from the 70s. Oh, I really like this band from the 90s. But then they are not partaking in
Today's music.
Today's
Yeah.
music.
Well, there's a lot of truth to that as well. But then you're also not part of whatever that thing is.
Hey, Andy in Rochester.
Hey, what's up, guys? Yeah, like, I guess if you look back, the 2000s was pretty bland, right? But, like, I don't think you can discount what it did for television, particularly with, like, the dawn of The Sopranos and whatnot, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know if the dawn of The Sopranos is any different than, let's say, Game of Thrones. You know what I mean? Like, you're looking at that thing.
Like, I agree that The Sopranos is the jump off, but if you're saying early aughts TV to teens TV, you're going to go, there was a lot of good TV in that
That's what I'm
time.
saying. And it also follows in that Sopranos way.
Right, where you have an anti-hero and,
Right.
you know.
So
There's
it's
like
not
a dark-
exactly new, even when it's new.
And those other shows aren't brought up nearly as much as The Sopranos. Even Game of Thrones, I don't think anyone's going to bring it up other than it was a
Well, we
giant
did for a
spectacle.
while. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Right.
But you don't hold on to it.
But I think more like if you're comparing them more like Breaking Bad or Mad Men or The Wire, those are more direct references to the way The Sopranos affected them. But I mean to say is like, okay, yes, that's true. It had an effect, but would you say though the ones that came out in the early aughts are vastly different in tone and style?
I don't think so.
Than the ones in the teens? No, they're still all in the same group where it's like, oh, it changed TV, but it changed TV over the course of 20 years.
Yeah, that's one of the things about the 60s that was so tribal, but then a lot of those bands sounded really fucking different. Like the Woodstock bands sounded really different from each other,
Right.
which is weird
Yeah.
at the end of the day. We just replayed the Detroit thing, and people were writing me all weekend going, that was fucking amazing.
Yeah, that was a scene that surprised me too.
It was all coming out of one theater
Yeah. That was one that really surprised me.
of how great that music
Yeah, just
was.
how great and how cool that whole scene was.
No, you know, all you guys love MC5.
Hmm.
That was it.
We kicked out the jams. Mike in Long Island.
Mike.
Mike. Long Island.
I feel so bad for Mike.
I hope he's okay.
No.
Chuck. Hey, Chuck in Boston.
Hey, welcome back, guys.
How's it going?
Hey, listen. Two things. One is we used to look forward on the weekends to going to the movies, and then it turned into HBO, and now it's all on demand, so you don't even have to leave your house to watch a movie unless it's a new one. And then the video arcade. You can't even go to a Dave & Buster's, but now you got the friggin' video games at home. You don't even have to go out the door.
You got them on your phone.
Yeah.
You know? Now, the thing is, what people don't realize, the video arcade was such a short fucking era. It was only like 2 years.
That's crazy.
You know what I mean? That video arcades were really big. The pinball fucking things were set up for like 25 years. And then the video arcades took place in the old pinball places.
Yeah.
But then video games were done.
Yeah.
And then nobody went back and played pinball the same way.
Right. And then immediately you could have something 10 times as good in your home.
I'm going to tell you something else. I think weed is much more of a private affair now than it ever was. People didn't used to smoke weed by
I know.
themselves.
I used to think that it was because I'm like my age. So it was like, oh, I probably thought of it as more social when I was younger, but now they're all aging. But no, I think that young people smoke by themselves and they don't really make an event of it.
Yeah, because in high school and even in college, it was just like, let's all throw down some weed,
Yeah.
buy it together, smoke it together,
Right.
and then let's all get high together and hang out together.
And even then, people acted like, oh, you missed the real golden age because you would smoke with strangers, not your friends. You would just be like, hey, we're at a show.
Yeah.
Let's all like pass a joint around. And we're like, oh, we don't do that, but we'll like smoke with a group or a gathering.
Well, one of the things
people.
that changed is it was too expensive to
Right.
fucking give your weed to a stranger. You know what I mean? I'd fucking stab somebody before I fucking gave him something that was that expensive.
The me generation stopped that.
No, the me generation is the one that actually did it. The me generation is when would you go to a fucking show and the joints would go up and down the whole fucking
sounds
aisle.
great.
And you were looking, he's like, this is fucking good weed, right? I remember this is one of my fucking funniest things. So hash oil was big for a little while, right? So my friend Berkey is just fucking wiping this fucking hash oil on these papers and we'd roll it up and smoke it with the weed. So this fucking kid is looking up at us. He goes like this. What the fuck is that? And Berkey's going like this. Oh, this keeps the fucking weed from falling out. That's what I'm doing. I'm keeping it stuck. And we were laughing at this fucking kid for not having hash oil in his neighborhood. Now, this was interesting. Over the break, I went and did Anthony's show. And he was going, do you remember when we were younger? And like, you would just smoke weed and then stop there? We weren't like these kids. And I'm like, no. I don't remember that.
Yeah, keep going.
You know? But that's your neighborhood thing.
Yeah.
Like each neighborhood would have its own neighborhood rules.
Right.
You didn't fucking run back and find out what the correct rules were online. Vito, you looking like you're looking far off and like you have something you want to add with your bronchitis chest.
Well, like the turning weed from like to a private thing has completely changed bar culture too. If you look at it, where bar culture used to be very like party bar atmosphere, like you go to a loud place and you want like a lot of people. But now most people like at that young college drinking age don't go to bars as much anymore. So that whole industry,
Where do they go?
They just stay at home.
And smoke weed.
They stay at home and smoke weed. The party bar, the college party bar, is dying out like fast.
Oh
It's
my
I didn't
not.
know that.
That's terrifying.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah,
See,
like
here's something else I think has changed the conversational aspect. You can't smoke in a bar, and drinking and driving is a big fucking,
Yeah.
It's going to cost you $10,000 now and take up years of your life. When it used to be, you get yelled at. Drinking and driving has kept people from going out and enjoying the world.
Mm-hmm.
And smoking is a conversation starter.
Oh,
No.
absolutely.
Yeah.
People converse better, and you can see it in movies.
There's
they
no-
want to have a fucking cigarette.
There's no vaping conversation. Just like smoking weed is a singular thing. Now you're just vaping. You're not going out to vape most of the time.
Right.
And you're just vaping to yourself when you want to.
When I was in college, I all of my friends, my whole friends group was based on people who smoked.
Yeah. You go outside, you ask
And
them
then-
for a fucking light.
And then you would meet people.
Yeah, you
that
talk
way.
to them.
We're like, hey, we're friends now because we
you-
both smoke.
Or you bum a cigarette.
So this is good.
Now you have to stand out in the fucking rain like an idiot.
Like an animal, Ron.
Look, it's Mr. 2020 himself, Hard Rock Johnny.
Johnny.
Bennington.
Hey, buddy.
Hi. I remember, like, when I used to smoke a lot when I was in college, it was like you would actually get your dealer high. Like, the guy who came over and sold you the weed, it was like the etiquette would be like you had to roll a joint and smoke it with the guy who just sold it.
Yeah, that was annoying.
Sucks.
I
I hated,
hated
that.
that shit.
I hated
I know,
it.
I'm not saying
Been
it
in a
was
lot of
good or
weird
bad, but-
conversations and situations because of that.
Yeah, it was always like, you have to get your dealer high. So
This
that's-
motherfucker never wore a shirt. That was another.
I just was like, all right, maybe I'll just become a dealer. And then when I was in college, I would sell weed, and then people would get me high and pay me. So what was the downside, right? There was
Well, I'll tell you this: when I was selling coke, I didn't stick around and do it with him because that fucking shit was stepped on, and I didn't want to hear them say, "How come I'm not high?" I go, "Well, you didn't get the good coke." I was thinking there was this thing about Nicholson that always had the good coke in his bedroom and the regular coke for everybody else.
That's fucking great.
I just got this alert on the Citizen.
World War III?
No, the Citizen app that says Governor Cuomo assisted man trapped in vehicle after BQE collision.
Yeah, Cuomo's a hero.
Oh my God, I didn't realize.
Yeah.
Thanks,
He's
Citizen.
basically a superhero these days.
Man.
Cuomo tore the fucking door off that thing with his
Jesus.
fucking bare hands.
Ripped.
Yeah. Now who you calling Fredo, motherfucker? I'll come in there and stomp your shit. Throw a fucking truck at you. Well, we're just going to be in non-existent times. There's just times that aren't referenced the same way. I think a big mistake was not all adapting a name to the look at this, the amount of people
Oh, Christ.
doing death to America.
Yeah,
and
there's
Chris,
a
you're
lot.
not willing to go over there and kill those fucking.
I don't want to kill anyone, Ron.
Look, it's Starship Troopers. They're not even humans. Look at them.
I think
Chris.
they are humans, Ron.
Look at them. They're fucking clustered together like bugs.
It looks like a hive mind, but Ron, they are humans, as far as I can tell. I don't want to kill nobody.
Not even the people that are killing us, huh?
Those people aren't killing
He
anyone.
said especially those people.
Really?
No,
They
no.
killed a fucking contractor.
I heard, I know. But those were guys in Iraq. Why didn't we attack them and the fucking random general instead?
Look, let me tell you something. I don't want to turn this into Epstein, but did you see the fucking picture of the guy's hand with the fucking ring on it?
No, I didn't.
All right, so Chris will find it. So the reason they knew it was the general is he wore this fucking ring.
Oh,
And by the way,
yeah.
they took that ring down 47th Street, the Diamond Row, and said, "What do you think of this ring?" And they all were ripping it in the post. Tell me this doesn't look fake to you. I mean, out of
Yeah.
everything that's left, it's the one defining ring that everybody knew that
Yeah,
he
that's kind of
wore.
interesting.
From a fucking drone strike with giant missiles.
They got everything blew up with his hand and his giant ring.
And where's that grass?
You know something else? He's a very attractive guy. You know what I mean? He had
Yeah.
a very good look about
Yeah,
him.
he did. Good
Not
style.
anymore though.
Well chiseled beard.
What's his name?
Yeah, well groomed.
Chris, I'd like to see you flying a fucking drone.
I can't.
First human pilot in a drone.
I should not be a human pilot. That's
Dude,
Qasem
stop being
Soleimani.
anti-American during this fucking time that we're all
You say
trying to
I shouldn't
unite.
be a human pilot?
I'm not anti-American. I don't think I would be best used in war, Ron.
Where would you be best used?
Not in
What do you
Iran.
want to do? Fucking nail on a flag with the 49ers? I'm not going to be rooting for the 49ers because none of those guys bum rushed him and fucking tackled him while he was down. They should have turned on him.
They should have.
Should have shanked him like it was prison. This is a time that you're either with us or against us.
I'm with us. All right, I'm with
Good.
all of us here.
Now go get your fucking helmet.
No,
Yep.
I can't even buy a fitted baseball fucking cap.
I've never seen such a fucking coward in my life.
I'm not a coward.
I wish I was your age and go over there and kill.
I don't want to kill.
Suit up, Chris. Come on.
I'm not.
All right,
not
Johnny.
suiting up.
Bye,
to go to war.
Johnny.
Bye, Johnny.
Tim in New Jersey.
Hey, I've been noticing that bar culture has really changed. People don't put a pot of money on the bar anymore and just share amongst a group of friends. All these young kids, they're Venmoing each other. They don't buy each other drinks. There's not the one guy trying to drink as fast as he can so he can screw his friends out of money.
Yeah, it's kind of an interesting point that Cash might have made that a more social thing.
Yeah, but I actually feel like that there is more like you're getting one pair because of Venmo, which is actually better than like splitting or all the confusion.
Like
but normally, like you got one person, like let me just put this on mine, and then.
But that isn't the same thing as having some fucking change in your pocket. There's something physical about that.
Yeah.
You know, I do think that not handling money changes 100% the way you think about money, just like the credit card changed it before that.
Well, I mean, like I was talking about online shopping. That shit is terrible because it's like it doesn't even feel like that money existed.
Right.
You're like, okay, you don't even like forget cash. You didn't even hand your credit card to someone, so you're not even having that moment where you go, I really wanted this, right? This is a thing that you don't even have that. It's just like it's already done. It's already on its way to your house. It's over. It's like nothing ever happened. And Venmo's the same way.
And cabs.
You're like, well, who cares? Oh yeah, cabs.
Uber's
It went
fucking
like
left.
cabs. Like if it's on an app, it's just like I never had that $50. It just didn't exist.
Yeah, there used to be a thing where a guy would take his check home, hand it to his wife, and that was a physical connection between them to go, do you know what we're doing? Or this going for that? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like you would have that moment where it would be like, here's the deer I'm bringing home.
Here's rent. Here's the grocery money.
You've been taking care of the children. You know, we're doing something. We're physically doing something together. But now it just happens somewhere.
Yeah.
Like your boss used to hand you your check. You would open the check and you would look at your boss and go, what the hey, is everything something different?
This is
I didn't
different.
I didn't get that overtime I was looking for. And you would have that thing.
Yeah.
Like that's basically what a boss used to do. Yell at you and hand you checks.
Hey, Nick in Baltimore.
Hey, Happy New Year, buddies.
To you too.
Hey.
Happy New Year.
I'm very impressed with Chris's pacifism, but I can't help but remember Vito's friend seeing him scream at a woman on the train. Maybe he could pretend Iran was just a lady on the train, and then he would be brave enough to fight them.
First of all, that never happened. I never yelled at a lady on the train.
I believe the account was an elderly black woman. Is that
No, that was I had a couple interactions with elderly black women, but not on the train. That was on the street. I didn't scream at any women. That's a fucking lie.
From the
No, it isn't a
streets.
lie, Chris. You
No.
got busted.
People fucking lie
you
about
were
me.
caught? And we can't go over this.
So much
So
evidence.
let's just treat this as fact. Yes, you're willing
Regardless-
to yell.
How about this? Is this a lie? You're a coward that doesn't love his country.
I fucking love it fine, and I'm not
Fine?
gonna fight
No one
for
loves
it.
anything fine.
You ever
love
hear
those.
Why?
Glenn? I feel fine about you, America. No. We give our blood. We spill our blood.
I'm not spilling my blood in Iran for America.
Yeah, I mean, we all did it in our generation. You
Yeah.
need to take up.
I'm not doing it. I'm not going to the fucking war.
Can I tell you how many fucking people I fought from Aston, Brookhaven, even Upland and Chester? And that was a fucking dangerous game to play. So you can at least fight the Iranians.
I'm not going over there. I'm too
Then
old.
they're coming here, Chris.
Ron, I'm too
Then they're
old and I'm
fucking-
too fat.
You don't have to be, man.
Which one do you think you are more? Is the issue,
You
old
know,
or fat?
You got a college education. I probably could get you even to some officers training.
I still think it would be bad and a
think
bad
you could be a
ending for me. You don't want me working on people dying.
Medic!
No, you don't want
Maybe you
to.
could get that hand and fix that fucking guy.
You don't want a fat medic.
That's mean.
He obviously doesn't take care of himself. Like, what's he gonna do for you?
What the fuck is your problem? Why don't you go to
He's
fucking
saying
war?
you're going to make us lose, Tyrant. Look at those fuckers. They're not worrying about their weight. They're not afraid. They're fucking jumping up and down.
I
Back
know.
to
I
America.
think there's a jihad going on here.
Fucking Chris, why don't you fucking text them all? I agree.
This generation is so privileged that they
They
won't
are.
just sign up.
You know what? You and Bernie want fucking health care for all, but you're not willing to spill a little fucking blood for it.
I don't think there's any.
Look at these guys fucking fighting heroes.
You ever hear this? Freedom isn't free.
That's right.
I've heard that.
How are we going to pay for it? With your blood.
I don't think.
Couple of gallons of your blood, and we can all be free.
I don't think this blood's worth all that much in this war.
You sound like a fucking coward, just so you know.
I'm not a coward.
Yeah, you're exactly a coward.
Give me
You're
the
a
blood.
textbook.
I think I'm actually just trying to make some fucking valid points here, and I'm not being a coward or whatever.
Give me the blood, Chris, and let me get out of here.
See if the Iranians would be happy if Chris came over and blew them. Because that's what he's willing to do.
I'm gonna suck off a bunch of Iranians.
For our freedoms? Not even that?
Put the G in jihad. Be a straight gang.
Welcome back to Bennington, and this is your last day to vote for the year-end comedy awards.
Coffee here.
Coffee's here. That's voting for Comedian of the Year, Best Comedy Movie, Best Hour Special, Best Book written by a comedian, Best Comedy TV Show or Series. All of the categories are on the interrobang.com. Go there now to vote.
I'm going to be honest with you. I can't seem to get myself excited about Best Book. Just I don't care either way.
I voted for Billy Connolly.
I don't know who I voted for. Maybe it was the Mel Brooks. Memories of Mel Brooks, the Gary Shandling book, maybe.
It just feels like so long ago.
It was the book about women in comedy.
Turn up your volume.
It was the book about women in comedy.
Oh, man, I gave that to Juju, too.
Yeah,
She loved it.
she did.
Then the next day, she went and showed me. She goes, Papa? For some reason, she's turned French with me.
She has turned French. Papa.
Papa. Instead of Pop-Pop. Papa. And I'm like, oh, man.
But
maybe-
she's also saying Juju.
Oh, I didn't even tell you guys this whole time it happened. Vito was in the middle of a scandal because the on the comedian who everybody's picking their breakout comedian. It was the Robert Kelly. Do you remember what happened?
Yeah, we had a very long phone call.
Yes.
And I cut it down.
Who did he pick?
He picked Greg Stone.
Go and listen. He picks Jeff Stone. And then you said it was Greg Stone. If you listen to it, it probably is Greg Stone. But, I mean, you think, oh, Comedian of the Year from Robert Kelly. What a great thing. But then he gets your fucking name wrong and calls you Jeff Stone, a guy that nobody remembers as it is.
His name is Greg Stone.
I mean,
Is
it's right.
it or is it Jeff Stone? But why didn't you correct him?
Because I didn't realize until after the phone call who he was talking about.
Well, why didn't you go back and ask him?
Well, after we did the phone call, I Googled around to see if there was a Jeff Stone, and there wasn't, so I realized it was Greg Stone.
But you left it on the show as
Yes.
Jeff Stone.
Yeah, because, I mean, Bobby should have known the
Jeff
right name.
Stone's a Republican congressman.
Dude, that can't be the breakout comedian. Now, whether he
looks
should have
funny,
known
though.
or not, you should have alerted us. Galen and I are going, yes, I guess he picked comedian Jeff Stone. We don't fucking know.
Yeah. We
This-
believe him.
I mean, this guy doesn't. I mean, look at that crazy tie Jeff Stone has on. This
That
guy's
is a
fucking
crazy
amazing.
Funny,
tie.
though.
For this day and age,
Yeah.
but it does match his pocket square, so that's cool.
You know, I borrowed a tie from your guy.
Mhm.
Wish I never gave it back. That's how much I like that tie.
You want that tie? I'm going to get it back for
No,
you.
no, I can't.
Please, believe me.
I don't want to take the tie. I'll owe you.
All right. Can I tell you the truth?
Yeah.
Do you remember the controversy of the tie? It's like, you needed the tie. It's
Right.
like, do you have the tie? I didn't want to tell you, but I bought the tie for you because I thought you would be like, no, don't go out and get it.
I would have loved it on a day like that. My father died. Of course
I
I'd
know.
take a tie. Of course. You know what I mean? I'm
But I
like,
bought
thank
the-
you for being there.
I bought the tie for you, and then I kept the lie up that it was Jack's tie because you told me not to go out and buy a tie. So the tie's yours, is what I'm trying to tell you. It's your
too
tie.
late.
No, it's your tie.
You know what's sad? I feel like you never even really knew my dad. You know what I mean? I wish that you. I mean, not as long as I did. You know?
Yeah, but I knew him my whole life.
But your life isn't that long the way mine is. Isn't it funny how we have to lie to each other?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't like when anybody spends any money on me.
No, he doesn't.
I'll say this on my birthday. Don't fucking spend any money. And then when they give me presents, they go like this. What am I going to do with this? I could buy 10 of these if I want.
I have to tell him I stole his present. This is stolen goods, I swear to you.
Then I always go like this. Well, they'll go, what do you want? I go, oh, slippers. I go try to think of what's the smallest thing that people will give in to. Because I'd say gum. I'm going to tell you the truth. And this, I think, has a lot to do with my addictive personality. I had a fucking Trident one day, right? Trident gum. I hadn't had one in a million years. But I was like, do you have a breath mint? And the person said, no, but I have a Trident. I'm like, well, it's kind of refreshing.
Yeah.
So next time I'm going past the bodega, right? Trident, please. I hear the people like this. Excuse me, what? I go, Trident. I don't know if we have that. And they look around. I see them blowing dust off. Is this Trident? I go, yeah. Next day I'm back. Got any more of that Trident? There's no fucking reason for it. Now I feel like this. I'm fucking screaming at MC at the cellar. I don't want to go on stage without having a Trident first. Gotta have my lucky Trident. I don't know why. I mean, I know you can identify, Chris.
Ron,
I see you.
I can't be
when there's-
around gum.
Yeah.
Or any small thing that I could
But
take.
here's the
yeah.
thing. Gum will make you feel guilty. Like, what am I doing? You know, especially chew bubble gum. But a Trident, you're like, this is a nice thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's nice for other people. They're going to get a nice,
refreshing.
fresh breath.
Yeah, I kind of want to try it now.
It's like self-care having a Trident.
It's true.
It is. Now I feel like
everything is about self-care now.
might as well have the second Trident. Really
Yeah.
freshen the breath up.
God, I love gum. I can't buy it, though, because I fucking chew a lot of it, and then I'm a very
You
loud
go through it
chewer.
really
Yeah,
fast.
I'm a very loud chewer.
One
on top
time a
of it.
guy gave us a bucket of fucking gum, and he chewed it all by the next day.
It's embarrassing.
He also doesn't mind. Like, my family had this, and when I had a family with it, we would, like, leave the last piece of something
Oh,
to
yeah,
rot.
always.
If there was a brownies, right?
Yeah.
The last brownie would sit.
Sure.
Like, nobody's like, I don't want the last brownie.
No,
If
please.
you want that last brownie,
I'd
it's
rather
there.
die than eat that brownie. That's your brownie.
It's a really weird thing, and I
Yeah.
had it at my house.
Mm-hmm.
My little sister used to say this all the time. Who wasted all the tasty cakes? My mom would go like this. Honey, it's not wasted. Other people ate it. Just because it's not. You're not eating and they're wasting. Then she would go like this. Just have a Trident. Yeah, blow some dust off that Trident. Order more Trident. I'll be back in here tomorrow. Get the Trident.
You got another case?
Let's see, leave. I got my keys, got my Trident. You do that a lot, Chris. You know, it's like he'll go like this and over thing like, oh, and it's
He
made up.
does-
I mean, he doesn't do it in real
He
life.
does do it on air.
Oh,
You're right.
Yeah,
Oh, look at that.
yeah. But what is that? Because you don't know what to add.
But you do want to add
I wanna-
something, like
I-
you
I
want
got-
to
Say
agree.
this.
Yeah.
Did you get engaged over your?
I didn't get
vacation?
engaged. No engagement.
fuck?
I'll say this:
What?
you're a fucking gorgeous man,
Well, thank you.
but that's not gonna last.
Not after the war.
Let me tell you
anyway.
something.
I'm not going to
Who's
war.
the guy? He was in Brad Pitt's movie, the fucking, the river runs through it. He played the older brother.
Okay.
We never remember his name.
Yeah.
You know
he,
his
has
face.
he was in Benny and June too, I think.
Yes, was that him?
No.
No, that was a
it's
different guy.
But also kind of similar look.
Now he was a very good-looking guy.
Tom Skerritt?
No, Tom Skerritt is a fucking great shepherd. It's right there at the top.
Tom Skerritt didn't play his brother.
He played his dad.
My bad.
Give me that Trident back. All right, now you know what a good-looking man he is, right?
Yeah.
Look at him now.
Oof.
Look at him at this age now.
Oh, that's not
I mean,
good.
he was literally a fucking beautiful man.
God,
at
he
one
was
point.
pretty.
What
Yeah.
happens? That's
Age.
going to happen to you,
That's
dude.
gonna be you, Chris.
Fucking-
Also, I think is when you try to fucking blacken a beard. You know what I mean? Let your beard turn white. It's a
Yeah.
fucking good look.
Salt and
That's a
pepper.
great look. A gray beard is
All the rock stars come in with black beards. Just fucking black as shoe polish. Black
Yeah.
is well, you've never seen hair. But here's the good thing for them. It doesn't look bad from a distance. You're at a fucking big rock show, you know?
Right. But up close.
Yeah, up close, you don't want to see it.
You think Brady's dyeing his hair? Because I was looking at his hair the other night. It was as they were losing, and he had his helmet off, looking sad, and his hair looks like a 20-year-old man's hair. There's not one.
Well,
gray
that's
hair.
not how you dye. Dye. I mean, he has healthy hair. I was looking at Brad Pitt's hair. He looks fucking gorgeous. His hair is fucking
Unreal.
beautiful.
Unreal.
Brad Pitt. Here's his gift that he has. He's a good-looking guy who acts like it's never occurred to him.
Yeah.
Paul Newman had that. It's
Yeah.
very rare. A lot of people that are good-looking guys, they're like, Johnny Depp is like, look, who's here? Pretty Johnny Depp. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When he was early. I mean, he's
knows.
running into a Craig Sheffer thing now.
He's actually closer to Tom Skerritt.
Look at that fucking Brad Pitt.
Unbelievable. I mean, last night, I just don't understand it.
You know what I loved too last night? I mean, it was very little that I loved, but I loved how weird Quentin Tarantino was.
Mm-hmm.
That he went out and talked to a group of his peers, and they had no idea where
Like,
he was
what
going.
is going on with this?
What are you talking about?
You think he was when Brad Pitt's acceptance speech? You think he was calling Leonardo DiCaprio LDC ironically, or you think they really he calls him LDC?
I think I think it's one of those things where like he's a little bit dude bro, but
Yeah.
he's also like a little bit of a knockaround guy. He's both.
Yeah.
That's the anomaly. Of
That's
him.
why the end
It's why
worked.
it's like he's talented and
Did you
beautiful.
say N-word?
That's why the end worked of the speech when he was
said
just
N-word.
no.
Dude, be so fucking careful with that.
The end worked when he was just like, "Let's all go out and be nice together tomorrow, guys."
Yeah, it was sweet.
Yeah.
I like
Now,
his head shape.
here's the
Say
thing.
anything.
I got into this immediately, so I wanted to see how Gervais's thing went over. And he attacked the lefties, the Hollywood community.
Yeah.
And right-wing fucking loved him. The right-wing
They
sites.
did, yeah.
The left wing didn't even really pay that much attention. They're just
not
like,
really.
whatever. But the right wing loved it. I'm like, I wish he would have also said the N word. You know what I mean? Because he's being shocking for no apparent reason.
Oh, sure.
Like, let me shock you. But here's the other thing about Ricky. And I love Ricky and I love his comedy. And he had some real good jokes in there. But some of his tone, I felt like him acting like he never wanted to be there and he's never doing it again. And fuck Hollywood. Fuck off you. I'm like, if that's true, A, why are you back? But B, why are you going around being on magazine covers? But you know what I mean? Nobody promoted this except for him. He promoted the fuck out of it.
Yeah.
And then when he got there, he acted like, what am I doing here with you fucks?
I felt like the whole act was he was just like nagging, like he really likes it,
Easy,
but
man.
he
You got to be careful.
what? I'm not a veto, okay? I wouldn't do that.
I think you could be at a roast and everyone knows that you're having fun. But here's the other thing, too. It's not like Ricky doesn't do a lot of political stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he's always talking about the Jesus thing, anti-Jesus, which is a political move. Even saying we should take care of animals. That's political because people get really mad. Like, really? We should take care of animals when there's people with diseases? People get really mad at animals.
They do.
Like a lot of people are going, this is Australia's terrible. Millions of animals have died. And then people immediately go, 18 human beings. 18 souls went to heaven. You're like, you could be sad about both.
Yeah, I feel bad. But have you ever seen a koala, a wombat? Those things are adorable.
Can I tell you something? I'm going to quote Randy Newman. Don't want to hurt no kangaroo. I don't want to see a burning kangaroo.
No,
Hell
that
no.
was, that
They
image.
said, it was on CNN. It was a jumping, hopping, burning kangaroo.
That's terrible.
That was
Damn
going
it.
right through the fucking, I guess, outback.
Yeah, the Outback. It's fucking hellhole.
I'm worried about the kookaburras.
Don't they sit in the gumdrum tree or something?
Yeah.
What is it? What kind of tree they sitting in?
The old gum tree?
The old gum tree.
Trident, I guess.
Johnny tried it back there.
Wait. Kookaburra.
Wait,
Look
what's the
up
difference
lyrics,
between the blue package to try it and the green package? Oh, it's more spearminty. Let's try one of each. I'll put it in together. Maybe make my own trident taste.
I always found cherry trident to be the best of all the.
I've never had a
tridents.
cherry trident. I'm
I
fucking
Ew.
taking
I
it.
don't know if they still make it, but I would eat like in high school. I would eat an entire like half. A
I don't know
pack
where
at
to
a
get it.
time.
Why don't you go bring some in tomorrow?
I'm
and
gonna
we'll
try. I'm
it
gonna try
out.
to get you some cherry.
Now, here's the
trident.
difference between me and you. You say cherry.
Cherry.
I say cherry.
Cherry.
Oh,
Both pronunciations annoy people.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
We go
You
to
also
two
say
different things.
bury.
Huh?
You say like bury instead of berry.
Yeah, I don't say berry. I say berry. I say it the way fucking people from where I grew up with say it. You know what I mean? I can fucking run around and start calling
I
things a
was
hero
right.
sandwich.
It is old gum tree.
Kookaburra sits in the old gum tree, Mary something ding other ding.
Laugh,
Kookaburra, laugh, Kookaburra on your gum tree.
Have you ever heard a kookaburra? It's hilarious. I can't even believe that.
We call kookaberry where I live.
He doesn't know how to spell it. Not even close.
He's a fucking idiot.
Found it.
He better go to war and fucking
No,
make something out of himself.
Let's listen to a kookaburra. 'Cause this is who's burning, by the way. Look how adorable these things are.
Sounds like a baby.
That's why they think they sound like they're laughing.
Yeah, it's not like laughing to me. It's like somebody's going to kill you.
Mocking. It's a mocking laugh.
Isn't it a mockingbird?
What? His arm just collapsed on the chair.
Oh, God. I'll fix that.
Off the chair.
Hey, I was listening to, first of all, and I don't know why this is, it's very strange when you talk this way, but there are certain groups of people that are funnier than other groups across the board.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like prejudice, but black people are funnier than white people.
True.
No one ever says, dad's a dad joke in black communities. Their
Right.
fucking dads are hilarious.
Yeah.
I go to the cigar bar. 90% of the bar is black dudes, fucking 50 plus.
Mm-hmm.
Funniest fucking people watching TV with you've ever seen. I mean, they're just stunningly fucking hilarious. So I was listening to the table show that the Cellar does. And Bobby Kelly was on there along with Artie Lang. And they were both telling jail stories, juvie stories, all that kind of stuff. So Artie talked about the last time he went back. And he's in jail, in lockup, waiting to be processed with all these young black kids. And the guards recognize Artie from the Stern show. So they're speeding him up, just from being fans.
Right.
And they're like, yes, Artie Lang will take you next. And he's getting up even though people had been in there much longer. And the kids were like, why the fuck is he going? We've been in here all day. And the guard's like, oh, you don't know. He's a movie star. And the kid says to Artie, movie star? Who you play? Ugly people? 2 fucking days I laughed at that. 2 fucking days that made me laugh. Artie can tell a fucking story too. Like he can tell a fucking disaster story that's just so good and so fun.
Yeah.
Now, I'm saying black people are funny. Earl's never once made me laugh in my life.
No.
No.
He's not funny at all, actually.
I think he's just crazy.
Have you ever heard him say something funny?
No.
I hear him derail a lot of funny conversations.
Yes, that's true.
When he'll go, like, he'll say something absurd, like, he'll be like, oh, Earl's dad was in Count Basie's orchestra.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he was not, Ron? He definitely was not. My father worked in the fashion district.
Let me correct you.
Earl, do you think it's odd that you don't have a single funny thing about you?
I think it's very peculiar because everyone that I grew up with was hilarious. Everyone
Obviously, black people are funnier.
I mean,
Just like gay people are funnier than white straight people.
Yeah.
I feel like even not only funny, but I feel like there's got to be a lot of pressure to be an A-type personality in the black community because you have a couple options. You could be super funny, you could be very talented, or you could be very tough. But I feel like if you're a quiet type, it's not that easy.
Yeah, it was always hard to be the introvert and
Bookish.
Yeah, very, very bookish. And how I compensated was I was making sure I was around funnier people, and they would just go at each other. So you just kind of
Playing the dozens, were they, Earl?
among other things, you know.
I mean, among other things. There's no other things.
Your mama
See,
joke.
that's
else were they playing?
He is a fucking no butt rather than a yes and.
A lot of your mama jokes too.
Well, I consider that the dozens.
A lot of snaps, Earl.
Mm-hmm, yes.
Dozens. Playing the dozens was in the 70s. That's become like roast battle.
Mm-hmm.
Where you would just show up and just start roasting each other. It was always fucking funny. Earl did not join in that.
No. You didn't play the reindeer games.
No, not at all.
He wanted to be a dentist. I feel for you, Earl. You're bookish but not smart. That's difficult.
I've known a couple of people like that in my life. Bookish
Yeah.
but not smart. Yeah, that's not an easy role to be.
Mm-mm.
Because, like, if you're not smart and you're not
Speaking of not
bookish,
smart.
you're like,
Right here.
Chris,
Dumb as a
Chris looked
fucking
up-
door.
Chris looked up like, I don't even know how to respond to that. I don't know what they mean by bookish.
Huh?
They mean you look like a book.
you're like, how can one be like a book?
Like
You never
you're
fight with your
literate.
girlfriend, huh?
No,
Yeah, that long
no.
fucking trip.
Yeah, no fights. No,
So
It's
great.
fucking
That's really
crazy.
nice.
It doesn't make sense,
What's it
Ron. It's nice. It's not like my last relationship. That's for sure.
Yet you lied about that and said
I know.
you two
You
were very
said
much
you
alike.
never
I know.
fought
You're
with
the
her.
biggest
you loved
fucking
her.
liar.
I'm not lying.
So are you
No,
lying
you
about
were
this
lying
one?
all the
that
time.
that time I was lying. Yeah.
Yes, so no one's
so
going to
why
agree with
would
you
we
again.
trust you
That's why
now?
friends of mine that are Republicans are like, we got to get behind the president. I go, you understand that I think that he's. I've heard him lie so much. Why would I believe him now when
Right.
it comes to a war? And they get mad, but I'm saying I'm sorry. It's already been fucking proven. That's how I am with Chris Stanley.
Right.
He's just another fucking real estate guy from Queens who's lied so much I can't fucking believe it.
Yeah. This is the exact reason that we need you to go to war.
But you know, the whole time that Chris was fucking single, I worried about him.
Yeah.
How many times did we used to think, is Chris dead because he was late
So
for work?
much.
And now we never say that because we know
He's
somebody else.
traveling, and
Yeah.
I don't even worry
Right.
Yeah.
where he is or what he's doing.
No, but
I
You
know
guys
that-
rented a car and drove down?
yeah.
That's great.
She did all the driving?
No, a couple of her friends also came down.
Oh, man, you really are. Now, who are her friends? Girls or guys?
One girl, one guy.
Couples.
A couple, yes.
Like swapping?
Oh, you
No
went...
swapping, Ron.
Nice.
No
Did you guys share a
swap.
room?
In Nashville we did.
And that's where
Same
you guys
room?
swap.
Same room with 3 beds.
What do you mean 3 beds?
There was bunk beds and a fucking bed.
so who?
Where the
what
hell
couple
were you
had
staying?
the
This
split?
is a
Somebody's
strange
house?
fucking. It was a strange hotel.
What?
I've never even seen a bunk bed in a fucking hotel in my
Neither
life.
have I.
Did it? Would couple split then?
Oh, the other couple split. Yeah.
Because you got to get your fucking. Did you like fucking in front of that other couple?
We
It's
didn't
fine.
fuck. We
It's
didn't
fine.
fuck in front of other
Why not?
people. We've been inappropriate, Ron.
That's why. That's all it's up to.
I thought you're still in this early enough in this that you're doing it every night.
We enjoy ourselves, Ron. That's all I'm gonna say. We have a lot of fun.
Yeah, in front of other people.
Not in front of other people.
That's cool. You know,
But,
keep it weird.
Then there was an Airbnb down in Nolans.
And that's when you invited them
Separate
over.
No, separate rooms.
But you left the door.
But same bath. So that's
no, all
interesting.
everyone had their own bathrooms and bedrooms.
So you all showered together, is what you're saying.
what
No.
would you rather do? Fuck in front of people or shit in front of people?
Ooh.
That's a good because I've had the fantasy of shitting here, but I've never had the fantasy of fucking in front of other people.
Hold on. Let's stop.
I think this came up a
Writing
few.
down my answer, and now I'm stopping. What did you say?
I've like this came up a few months ago that I've had the thought, just this thought that creeps into my head.
You said fantasy, but go on.
Or fantasy. Well, what if I just walk down in front of where all the instead of going to the bathroom, like in the bathroom, what would happen if I just shat in the middle of where all the music programmers are? Would I get fired? Would anyone stop me from completing the shit?
No, they'd be running.
Yeah.
No one runs towards a person shitting.
Like when people scream, no, stop doing that, but I
Yeah,
wouldn't.
This was my answer, by the way. That's as far as I got because Chris derailed me. And the reason why is I have the opposite of that. I have reoccurring nightmares since I was a child that I would be forced to shit in front of people in a kind of almost like Starship Troopers where there's like a shared bathroom, but it's like either it's military, it's school or something, and it's like I have to poop in front of people.
Right.
So F was the first letter of my answer that I did not finish.
It's very funny that you say that it's a fantasy. It pops into your head.
It's like I don't want it in my head. I don't think like I have to shit.
Unwanted thought.
It's unwanted thought. Yeah.
I could remember this thing. Literally, I was in 2nd grade, and this thought would come into my head. Instead of like listening to the thing, I'd be going like, "What if you had like a fart bubble that just didn't fucking pop, right?
Yeah.
And just started pushing your ass up, and all the kids would be looking, and then your pants would tear, and the fart bubble would take up the whole room before it exploded."
Okay.
And that used to be in my mind all the time. And I look back on it now. It's like creativity. It's like you're writing a kind of funny horror thing or something.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I remember that would just, and I'd be like, could that happen? I wonder. And then I never brought it up to another person because I didn't even know why I would think that it would come out as a bubble and not pop.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, we're
And then I would have a Trident, just fucking relax.
delicious. What
One of the
flavor?
first times I can remember daydreaming in class, I was in kindergarten. And we had to do like a nap time, but it was more like you didn't even get a cot. They made us put down our heads on a cold desk.
Yeah.
And then she would just grade papers and turn the lights out.
Yeah, she just wanted you to be quiet.
Yeah, she just wanted us to shut up. But it was so boring to me. And I'm like, I couldn't nap like that. Like, I can't nap on command now.
I can't.
But I remember being, what are you, like 4 or 5 years old in kindergarten?
Yeah.
And I started to have this elaborate fantasy that I knew how to play electric guitar, and I was going to come into the classroom and hop up on the desk and be like, and then everyone was like, whoa, and like the teacher would be blown away. And that is the first time I can remember daydreaming. You know what I mean? Where I'm like, oh boy, I don't want to be here. Let me think about something else cool.
That is so funny. You just thought of yourself shredded. Just a little Eddie Van Halen. Gail's so cool when she plays the guitar, man. I remember a fantasy that I had when I was a little kid is that we would find out that we had a very rich uncle or something that died and left us an enormous amount of money. And I remember in my fantasy, we were walking around this mansion, and I look out the window and I go, why is there a parking lot here? And the lady who was taking us around our new mansion went, no, you don't understand. That's all your cars. Somehow I thought rich people had 50 or 60 cars. And we're like, oh my God, this is all fantastic.
I used to daydream that there was money hidden in the walls of my apartment because there was like some weird latch. It was like a hatch or something that it's still there. That I don't know what's in there, but I thought.
How old were you?
First of all, you didn't have change in your couch.
It's like, what if there's money in that hatch? But no, it's nothing. It's
Kids love treasures.
Yeah,
yeah,
man.
I thought
They
it was
love
fucking treasure.
I saw a Spank in Our Gang thing where they fucking had a treasure and they were running from a giant, and I was like, man, I'd love to find a fucking treasure.
Hell yeah.
Earl, what was your fantasy? The right to vote?
Among other things.
Among other things. Again, he's back to that.
Always had it, bro.
I'm saying he just did among other
Remember,
things.
after
The
the
last
dozens?
answer. He doesn't fucking know what he's saying. You don't know what you're hearing. Then he yelled out, you always had it, bro, which he did. So, God, black people do not always have the right to vote. You fuck.
I can't believe.
He misses it. All right. What was your big fantasy when you were a kid?
It was always, playing for the New York Yankees, being drafted and getting the call. Hey, ninth inning, 2 out, 2 on. We need a hit. You get up.
You're not even starting? You had a dream about being a pitch hitter?
I'm off the bench.
What?
I would always think about breaking records. Now, the funny thing is, I think for little kids, like when you're bouncing a ball in your backyard, you're playing by yourself. There's only 2 dreams. One is playing for the New York Yankees. The other one is beating the New York Yankees in the World Series. And I had the New York Yankees have never taken a loss like this. He's hit 5 for 5, all home runs, as well as pitching a perfect game. Like, you can't even just have a simple, you know what I mean?
No.
I mean, getting a base hit would be fucking great, driving in a run.
I thought grand slam when I had that fucking thing.
Oh, of course.
Just fucking center fielder hit a grand slam to win the fucking whole thing.
Oh, yeah, but it was your 4th grand slam of the day. No one's ever hit 4 grand slams in a row.
You think they'd start walking me?
And he found money in the wall.
Can you believe that? Earlier
believe
today,
that?
he found money in his walls.
And he's finally found love. He lied about loving his last girlfriend until an intern told Ron the entire story.
That intern's full of shit.
You're full of shit, dude.
I'm not
you
full
have
of
been caught in a
shit.
lie. Now I can't hear that another one is a lie.
No
Chris,
one's
I'm
ever
sorry.
called him a liar.
You have fucking destroyed your own reputation.
I feel like my reputation is great, and I think that
don't get
fucking
to
intern
decide that, dude.
is a lying scumbag.
There's not another person who would agree that you have a good reputation.
You
Some
definitely
people are
don't.
like, you know what? Chris is a good guy. And we'd all say
Despite what
that.
people say, Chris
Yeah,
is a good guy.
that is
People have
always-
said that to me.
Okay, well, tell me who they are. Because I don't like that first part.
I think this year's Instagram, you go up naked. That's your way.
They're gonna shut us
Monty?
down, Ron. They're gonna shut us down.
I
They
don't
don't
care.
want dicks and nipples on those fucking Instagram.
You got nipples on your dick?
No, dicks and nipples. My fucking
Old nipple dick.
my dick is nippleless.
Dylan in Nebraska.
Yeah, you guys were talking about childhood fantasies. I remember when I was in like 1st or 2nd grade, we had done a time capsule, and then that got me thinking about
buried treasures and stuff like that for our class. And so I would draw up maps, like treasure maps, and then at recess or when I'd be like at home, I would just go out and follow them and be convinced that I could find treasure that way, not realizing that somebody would have to bury the treasure. I just figured I'd stumble upon it that
Start with
way.
the map. Draw the map up.
And then
love-
follow it yourself.
Yeah.
I like a treasure map when I was a kid, too. Look, this kid I grew up with, Valerie, wrote to us. We were in high school
Oh,
together.
that's sweet.
She was gorgeous. Now she doesn't have her picture up on the thing. It's just a picture of a flower. And then I have to do a follow back. But that seems crazy, right? It's creepy.
To follow back?
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah, because it's not like she has a show that's her personal life.
Right. Maybe I should
Why
make
didn't you come out with Rap and Wardy?
Maybe I should make a work Insta. Because I have a private Instagram account.
Well, this is your work Insta.
That's true.
You know, I can't even
Then
get
give
you
me
guys.
access.
You can have access.
Give me the password then. If it's
I don't
mine.
even know what it is. I just checked on it. It's already like locked in for me. But I do. I forgot. Like if you go to what's Jim and Sam up is Jim and Sam?
On Instagram, yeah.
Yeah, on Instagram. What do you think? What do you
He's
think?
back to Facebook again.
I'm on
God,
the,
he's
I'm-
old.
I'm
Drop the fucking FB,
I'm
man.
on the
This ain't
book.
social network. You're like one of the creepy guys in social network. So like this is when maybe it was just on Sam's. But he had put up a thing, all right, so Jim and Sam are back and they're just standing next to each other.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just write gay. And then I go back to see how many likes I got. It was like 38 likes off of it. And most people are only getting one or two. But I did. If any two buddies are together, I write gay.
Still funny.
Yeah. Still funny. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm.
Hey, Dan in Toronto.
Hey, yeah, I just wanted to back up Earl on the modest daydream. I always imagine coming off the bench and just getting that, slapping a single, moving the runner up, and then Joe Carter comes up behind me and knocks a homer off Mitch Williams, back-to-back World Series champs.
Too bad that game never took place.
Like
never
I said,
fucking took place. Why didn't they fucking have a World Series in '93?
It's weird.
Hey, Vito, I want you to put him on the same list as fucking Radio Shark. Because it's hurtful. Vito's laughing because he never saw the Mets have a championship.
Hey, Sumner in South Carolina.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up?
Hey,
Bless
so in regards to
bronchitis.
the treasure hunt thing,
Uh-huh.
I grew up on a farm in Virginia, and
Just like
Warner
Charlotte's
Washington had a house that he built on that farm, and George Washington would come and visit often. But he had this pit that was like a dump pit that we would go explore, my neighbor and I, when we were kids. And one day we were digging, and we found this like china plates, and then we kept digging, and we found a gun, and so we kept digging, and then we found some bullets, and so we took this to like a pawn shop because that's the only place that my parents could think of. And it turns out this stuff was like legit Civil War era stuff.
You're like a kid who actually found treasure.
It was like actual. I mean, I'd never found my retainer that I lost in the dirt, but
How much money did you
But
guys
the-
get for it?
no, we didn't. We still have it.
Sell it.
Didn't trade it in.
Take a picture
I mean,
and send it
that's
to us.
legit.
I'd love
Yeah,
to
I
fucking
want to
see
see
it.
it.
I'm dying to see it.
Yeah, I will. I'm in the car, so I can do that when I get home. But
Do it now.
but
Yeah, just pull over, dude.
10-year-old coming home with a rifle. 10-year-old coming home with a rifle. Mom, I have some
Adorable.
questions.
All right, Sumner. That's pretty cool.
My brother always found Indian arrowheads. I never had to, I'm like 2 ADD. I would look for like 5 minutes, and then next thing I would know, I had to take a fucking stick and pretend I was rowing.
I always wanted a metal detector. Never got one,
It's
though.
not that hard to do.
I know. Like as a kid. Now I'm not going to go to the beach with a metal detector.
Why not?
Why?
You're more the right age.
Now,
now.
yeah, now it's actually appropriate. I'm going to get you some shorts,
I'm going to look into this.
high socks.
It is an old man's Florida old man thing.
Yeah.
But the problem is those beaches have been, they're over. They found a lot of like Bahamas treasure is only like 3 or 4 feet deep.
That's
You know
it?
what I mean? Yeah. It wasn't even like buried. It was just like, it would be like, even if you're in ocean, a lot of times it's only like 10 feet deep that you could go down and find a buried treasure. But you look how big the fucking ocean is.
Yeah.
It hasn't all been fucking taken care of. The problem now is everybody comes after that treasure.
That's bullshit.
And they say, oh, that belongs to Spain. How does it belong to Spain if you were fucking ripping off the Incas?
Exactly.
And they're not looking for it.
Exactly.
They're
Yeah.
not finding shit. So fuck you. You're not getting your fucking doubloons. Wherever the fuck it is. I
Dude,
don't
I'm
know.
gonna spit fucking coffee. You didn't do this.
I know. Well,
Why are you taking on this
on
war?
behalf of the treasure hunters out there.
He's more passionate about this war than the war he should be fighting.
Yeah. If he
Oh,
was this
man.
passionate, he would have kept his old girlfriend.
No, that's better off.
Why? She threw you out. You didn't throw her out.
It was bad.
You'd still be with her right now, wouldn't
Yeah.
you?
Oh, thank God I'm not.
He wouldn't end anything.
So then why would you have any negative feelings for her? Obviously, she had the maturity.
Looking back, it was not a good
Yeah,
relationship.
but she was the one with the maturity to say this wasn't, this isn't
she's
a good
so
match.
mature.
She's got a baby now.
Great.
Oh, wow.
Well, I guess I didn't
Who's the
steal her
dad?
youth and her ability to have children. Then.
No, she's with Mark Zito.
That's weird.
I was thinking about Mark Zito the other day because there was an article. I don't know what it was on, like one of those verbs or whatever the fuck they're called. But it said, was this show the worst show that ever, worst reality show of all time? And it was called, I think, Kids Town?
Kid Nation.
All right, Kid Nation. Do you remember this, Chris?
Yes, I do.
Now, the funny thing about it is, I think it maybe even was for Vice, but Mark Zito used to be in charge of writing up. Remember when people just would write up what the episode was about?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. That was his job, his little job. And then one time he told me that those kids were still writing to him years later.
That's
And he was like, this is fucking scary. You know what I mean? I'm going to look
Creepy.
like a fucking bad man. But they're now saying it might be the worst reality show that ever happened. You couldn't do this now
No.
because children were involved.
It was absolutely insane, and yet I couldn't not watch it. And we're talking about change in culture. I feel like you could look at crazy reality shows as just like holding a mirror up to whatever the culture is of that time.
Yeah.
I mean, over the last, 2 decades, there has been so many batshit insane reality shows that you're like, oh, I can't believe they do this next, but then they do it. You know what I mean?
Well, didn't it seem like we were just going through a list of them trying to do these weird, you got to run through a maze shows.
Yeah.
And you get hit and bopped and you fall in the water.
Yeah.
And there was like 18 of them on and now they're all gone.
Yeah.
I think there's one left. Now they're going to do one with dogs.
There-
They have dogs running through obstacle courses.
Who wants to see that? A dog can
I
do
don't
it.
want to see a dog
I think it's
fail.
called like World's Best Dog or something.
That's the dog show.
That's
No, it's not-
Westminster
no, it's a-
Dog Show.
No,
All
it's
right.
actually like American Gladiators with dogs.
Dude, you derailed this.
I
So
apologize.
let me tell you this, though. There was a guy that used to do radio on here, right? I can't think of his name. He passed away. Christina used to work for him. And Earl knows him. He was a big New York person.
Jay Thomas.
Oh,
So
yes.
Jay Thomas. Back in like 99 or 2000, Jay Thomas got hired to do you don't need to look everything up. You can be here with us. He got booked to do this show. It was called something like Who Wants to Marry a Millionaire?
Yeah.
Right? So he goes on and does the show. It gets really high ratings. America can't believe that somebody would want to get married to somebody they just saw on a TV show. They have reacted so poorly that the show that was a hit, they said, okay, we're not going to make it anymore. The network said, we're not going to make it. Now The Bachelor is beloved by
I know.
millions of people.
To me, that I would put that at like top of the list of almost like a death of culture. When we were like that and Joe Millionaire, whatever, all those shows came out right after
Right.
Who Wants to Marry a Millionaire. And now it doesn't seem weird at all. Now we're like,
Right.
yeah, okay, whatever. Do you watch The
But there
Bachelor?
was a backlash
Yeah.
to that. And now you can't watch one of the women's talk shows that they don't talk about who should have got the rose, which is like the least feminist thing that's ever happened.
Mm-hmm.
These women fighting to get some fucking idiot.
Some fucking
Can I
dumb-
blow you? They're literally saying, I'd blow you,
Yes. If you give me the rose, I'll give you my rose.
meaning my vagina.
Yes.
But yeah, these things, you never want to be a pioneer. You never want to be the first in.
No. And that's Kid Nation. I feel like somebody should have picked it up after that.
Well, the problem with Kid Nation is you can't do this shit with minors. You know what I mean? And there were little kids crying because they were just uncomfortable. Nobody even wants to see that now.
And you remember, like, it was pretty rough. Like, they showed up. There was, like, one bathroom for 100 kids.
Yeah.
And, like, there were, no adults that weren't holding cameras.
Yeah, it was like an old mining town. And then some of the kids that were leaders kind of misbehaved. Remember, there was a little girl who was like, just deal with it.
Deal with it. So, like, they picked a couple kids and they were, like, the leaders. And then that was, like, one of those things where you see how power corrupts, and immediately those kids went into bully mode very quickly.
And yet, they're being kids. The fact that adults were like, that little girl's a bitch. And her mother must be the worst. You know what I mean? Like, we can't go that far. I mean, this show was bad because it had little children in it.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
That's the problem. Like, it's bad enough if little children are acting.
Hey, Glenn in North Carolina.
Hey, I don't know if you guys remember this a few years back on Fox. I guess it was more of a game show. It was called The Moment of Truth, where the people were hooked up to a lie detector test, and as the point values or the money values increased, they had to reveal more and more. And, like, marriages were getting broken up. I think the host, like, tried to quit because he just couldn't watch it himself anymore.
Now, the moment of truth, you had to take a lie detector? How did it work?
Yeah, and then, like, the spouse would, like, come on there, and, like, you would have to answer questions.
I remember this. Yeah. I feel like I had blocked this from my memory
Look
until
how
now.
the host looks like a total magician creep.
Yeah, so basically, if you want the chance to win the money, you've got to say, well, have you ever slept with someone else?
Mm-hmm.
And then they'll go like, yeah. And now you're like, aren't you happy that I got us the money, though, honey?
Did you abort the child? Yes, I did. Why wouldn't you just say yes to everything? Mm-hmm. There's such a bad game show on now that I've been watching called 25 Words or Less. Have you seen this show?
I have seen that show,
Fucking hilariously bad because they waste time arguing about things that they shouldn't. Like, geez, I don't know. I really like the idea of, single cell. You're like, just fucking pick it. What's the difference?
I think I saw an episode with Pete Holmes on it. It was a little break, yeah.
Call me when something.
I will.
I've been watching this really bad reality show on Netflix that I can't stop. It's called The Circle, and it's basically Big Brother, except none of them actually interact with each other. It's all through an app where they DM and they strategize and talk shit that way.
So that it's like the internet.
It's the internet.
They have
Social
a house,
media, the
they have a
game.
room.
They're all in a building and they each live in different apartments.
That's already going to make someone go nuts.
And they don't. The bullshit thing about the show is they don't even focus on the part that they're in isolation. Like you just realize they're in isolation.
You're going to probably get on that show because you can't get on Big Brother.
You're right.
They will not book you on Big Brother.
I think they're going to do it. I think 2020 is your year.
I think the weight loss thing is really going to help me. I think it's going to add to the story.
When do you find out that you can try out?
I believe March is the tryouts.
What would you do if you go and try out and they're like, we were going to pick you, but we liked you when you were fat?
You should gain the weight back.
I would be pissed because I got the kind of the vibes that the fat thing wasn't working out.
I'm going to give CBS a call.
Okay.
And tell them that I believe you started your own Al Qaeda terrorist.
No, don't do it, Rod.
I don't know. That might be good for my story.
The fact that you have a story instead of life is the saddest thing.
That's what they're looking for, baby.
So, Chris, do you have a worst reality show of all time?
I remember being really into Joe Millionaire and being shocked at how it ended and how fucking...
Was he not a millionaire? Was that the joke?
He was a construction worker. And that was the big thing of like all these women that were looking for money. And then they revealed her, wait, no, Joe Millionaire, he is not a millionaire.
And then they had to decide if they wanted to
And they
stay
didn't.
with him, right?
Yeah. Yeah, then at the end, like, will you stay with Joe Millionaire? And there was a second Joe Millionaire, but I never watched that one.
It was a different guy too, right?
It was a different dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They did Joe Billionaire with Mark Cuban. This was the thing about Joe Millionaire that I always remember. It's one little detail. He said that this woman, he wanted to say she had a rockin' body, but he said rocket body. He didn't know that it was. And then people were trying to figure out online, what does he mean by rocket body? Is he like the shape is like a rocket? And then when they found out, he just said he had misheard rockin' body.
She's got a rocket body. Cool.
I remember Joe Millionaire being a very dumb person.
He was dumb as a rock.
Oh, the place that you won't go and defend our troops.
Still a rock. Here he is now.
It looks great.
God, he looks terrible. Huh?
Yeah. He looks like K-Fed.
He looks poor.
You know what I think was the weirdest one ever? Do you remember the Swan?
No.
Oh yeah, I remember the fucking
The
Swan.
Swan was this reality show where they took ugly people and gave them extreme plastic surgery.
Oh, sounds nice.
Like, to the point that you couldn't recognize them. And it was really brutally honest, sad. Their physical recovery would be on there. So it would also be like, then you'd have to see like rhinoplasties up close.
Yeah.
It was really.
And then they had to go into a beauty pageant.
Yeah, it ends with, okay, so who is the Swan? Who's the best geek to chic here?
But how would we know until we saw how ugly they were?
Exactly. So you see the before and afters, and then you had to pick like who was.
Plastic surgery looks so good.
Right?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Really
I mean,
works.
when you see some of these ugly ducklings, you'll agree.
I just remembered a really bad one. I don't think they could do today. Is the pickup artist with Mystery?
Oh, that's
Oh,
where
I-
negging came from.
Yeah, that's which I referenced
Yeah.
earlier. But
By
yes.
the way, this is breaking news. Trump once again said we may attack Iran's cultural sites.
Oh God.
Please
We
stop
wanted
saying
to destroy their churches, their
Please stop
statues.
saying
Places of worship.
just, war crimes. Some light war crimes.
I love it, Chris. If you get in on that,
I don't want to do that.
maybe you can break into their gold and bring some gold back.
I'm not going to
Is
steal.
anyone telling him that these are war crimes?
He
Is
d-
anyone
He
mentioning?
does. He knows he's not going to do it, but he thinks it's good to threaten. Also, the U.S. military says we're not moving, even though Iraq has asked us to leave. Our answer is no.
Yeah.
We're here
Well,
to help.
that'll go over well.
An aide to the Iranian president also put on Twitter a list of every Trump property around the world.
Oh my God!
Wow.
Yeah. Every Trump hotel and golf course. He just put up a list.
Retweet that
Let's see if I can find that again.
as a soldier.
I'm not a soldier.
Of Trump's army.
Army training, sir. See if you can get a big fucking Winnebago to go around with you and your friends. You and your cool friends. You should go in with other Chris.
I'm not joining the army. I don't want to join a solo with anyone else.
What was the concept there that they went to boot camp because one of them couldn't do push-ups? I kind of remember there was like a
Well,
weird
they
reason.
didn't have anything happen in their life, and back then we used to have called the buddy thing that you could go in with a friend, and then I had two friends that did that. One being Don Vito from one of the worst fucking reality shows of all time, but they separated them immediately. The whole thing of it, and then the other guy went fucking crazy in there.
Oh, great. Hey, Meatface.
Hey, how you doing there?
What's
Hey.
up?
All right, there's one. It wasn't too popular. I don't know if it's on a major network, but it was called "There's Something About Miriam," where it was just like The Bachelor. 6 guys had to go after one girl, and then once the
Gangbanger.
final guy wins, he finds out she's a man.
Holy shit!
Was this Australian? Was this not in America?
I think it was an Australian show and aired out here.
It's crazy.
I know. I forgot I got into that Australian show about people who run the best bed and breakfast. It's actually really fun because you're like, oh, this is a nice bed and breakfast.
There is a British reality show. I and I don't know the name of it, but they just like judge each other's like by their dicks and stuff.
What?
Like
Like
it's
you
just,
see somebody's dick and then you
Yeah,
have to
so-
say whether you want to date him?
Yeah, exactly. So they have guys lined up, and then there's like something that covers their faces, and then like the bachelorette kind of goes through, and she's like, "Okay, I like this one. This one isn't thick enough. This one's a little bent, so he's out." And then so they just and this is real. They put this on TV.
Do they show the
I would
dicks?
say this. You can't
Yes.
tell if it's a bent dick until it's hard.
Interesting. I wonder if there's ever like a thing like she asks, "Let's see stage 2 before we move on."
Yeah,
But
I definitely would.
And then like they do it with women too. Like you'll just see tits.
Oh.
Just vaginas.
Speaking of which, the tits are back in a big way. If you watched the Golden Globes last night,
Yeah, the
tits were accentuated.
Golden Globes, aptly named.
Oh, I get it, because they're like a globe
Globes.
for a tit. But here's the thing. The dresses were so weird. We went back to weird dresses instead of overly glamorous ones. They were almost costume dresses, but everything pushed up big tits.
Yeah, Selma Hayek maybe had the rack of the night, but Patricia Arquette. I mean,
Patricia Arquette was all but showing nipple.
Yeah.
Scarlett Johansson.
I don't think I remember Scarlett. Let's take a look. ScarJo.
ScarJo, Globes. Give them to me.
Hers are oddly separated. I think they need to be pushed together.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need it up next to the neck.
What's
like
just
a
thinking?
Marie Antoinette situation, which a lot of people are doing. Nick in New Jersey. Hey, Nick.
Hello.
Hey, what's up?
I know you guys were talking about obstacle course shows that used to be on. Well, there's a new one on Discovery, and it's man versus bear, and it's corny as hell.
You
They,
fight a bear to
bear
death?
food and climb trees and all kinds of stupid stuff
You're
like
going to
that.
lose, dude.
They're
They
better
do.
at getting honey. We're better at doing math.
Hey, Charles in Florida.
Yeah, the show you were talking about where they just see each other naked. It's called Naked Attraction.
Naked Attraction. That's it.
What happened to Naked and Afraid? That got like a 2-year run and now it's gone?
That was huge. People fucking
Yeah.
loved that show.
Yeah. Now it's all about Naked Attraction, where you're just, I mean, there's no blurs here. You're just staring at dick.
You know, my biggest problem with Naked and Afraid is the amount of bug bites. I can't watch a show
Yeah.
where
No.
people are getting a massive amount of bug bites.
I'd be scratched until they're bleeding.
Particularly, like, you know, in the private areas.
Any area. I do not like a bug bite. Terrible, I think. I think I'd rather be bit by a dog than a bug. All the guys on this show ended up looking like Marilyn Manson. Hey, wasn't it funny on the Golden Globes last night the way that instead of having somebody's daughter helping people on and off, they had someone's sons? And
yeah.
it just looks so like there's something about a boy that does not make a good spokesmodel.
No. You
This-
need a nice young lady.
This way, sir.
Hey, it's our buddy Lewis. Lewis in Manhattan.
We're having drag on these phones.
Yeah, what's going on?
Let him go.
All right, bye.
Oh,
we got a break.
We need a break one more time for the end of the show.
We'll be right back. Bennington.
We'll be right back. Faction.
Up and moving, and I've already noticed this. It's staying lighter longer. You
I
can
know.
realize in the 2 weeks that we had Christmas break, that adds another 15 minutes of light. It almost feels like spring is almost here
I
to me.
feel like it
taste it.
is. Yeah.
Even though winter is only about 3 weeks old.
We're so close to spring.
Yeah, as soon as this starts to happen, like you start to feel that change where the sun is staying out longer, I start to feel normal again.
Yeah, I don't. The whole thing about winter that is so weird is that it's much longer than we believe. We act like, okay, Christmas and New Year's is over. You know, let's start looking forward to spring. No, a lot of times spring doesn't get here till May.
And that's the worst, is like that's why March and April are so depressing, because there'll be like a taste of like an okay day.
Yeah.
and then you're like, no, winter isn't over, and it just fucks you up.
Well, the great thing is that we're all going to the Bahamas in February, and that's fantastic. That's going to be a great trip for
It's
us.
going to be great.
Now, I got to think, what kind of stand-up are we all going to do? Like, hey, everybody, you guys like being on a cruise ship?
Nothing bad about this.
Do you notice that you eat more than you normally do back in life? I have no idea what I'm doing on that cruise, and I have a feeling that it's going to feel very weird for me. Because, I think you're cut off. Your cell phone is cut off from the world.
Yeah,
There's
unless
no
you have
cell
like
phone.
unless you have like a satellite phone.
Why would I have a satellite phone? What am I?
Do you have
Seriously,
one?
what am I, a fucking explorer?
No, you're not.
Can you rent me one for that week?
I can look into it.
Earl, why don't you look into it? Because this fucking guy looks like he's
he
not
just
going
comes
to.
up with satellite.
I'd
phone
rather
and
than
has
saying I'm going to look into it, I would have liked to have heard this. Dunzo. That's what your 2020 thing should be.
That's your
Dunzo.
2020
All right.
vision should be Dunzo.
Dunzo.
Someone comes up with an idea, you go, already Dunzo.
I love that. I would love if you were like that instead of making excuses why you won't go to war. Hey, go over to the iBang. I mean, we're looking at our two favorite Jews fighting out for Album of the Year, Shuley and Voss. I don't know who's going to win this one.
No, it's any man's game, you know?
And what is Shane Gillis hanging around for Comedian of the Year? Hopefully this isn't some kind of Carrie situation where he thinks he's getting the award and they throw pig's blood. And can Dan Soder break through? Can this be the breakthrough year of Dan Soder?
I think it could be.
We're all going to find out. Go and vote. Earl, I don't see enough diversity. I don't see enough black voices on here. Have you seen the Kevin Hart fucking documentary, they call it, but it's really a reality show?
No.
I don't know why he allows himself to look so bad.
That's shocking.
He's the nicest guy ever, right?
Yeah.
Totally mean to his friends. Not nice to his wife. Not all the time there for his kids. And then he's like calling the kid. He's working out. He goes, I'm doing this for you.
Working out?
Yeah. Because he works out. He fucking has meetings. He does everything but come home.
Sure, for the kid.
And then he has friends that he treats them like he's Elvis and they're Red. And Dr. Nick. I was surprised.
Yeah.
I was surprised. But Keith is in it for a while and it's really great to see that going down because he's, he's the best. And he admits that Keith is the one who found him and started teaching him stuff. Keith Robinson. But what the fuck did Chris Rock call Keith Robinson? Something that had the word stroke in it. That was so mean. Just so fucking mean. All right. Bennington show ready to wrap up the first show of the new year. And I'm going to give us a solid D+. For
Yeah.
Tonight. Yeah. I felt like I got an A.
Okay.
Chris got an F.
Okay, understandable.
Gail, I'm going to give you a C+.
Oh.
Earl, another F.
What?
And Vito.
Earl deserved it.
That was
great.
funny. I accused
And
him of
then,
not being funny.
Vito, obviously, you get an incomplete. You were sick and missed a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
You just weren't here yet, but the fact that you're still alive means something.
Okay.
I want you to be one of those kids that you send in a laptop with you Skyping on it while you're with the other kids. Hi, everybody. Today's a bad day. White blood cells. Any big story that we missed over the Christmas break, Chris? Anything important that we missed?
That video of the Pope slapping that woman's arm away when she was grabbing him and holding on to him.
What are you playing both sides? What are you
Which
saying?
is it?
I'm saying that he was right to slap her arm
That's
away.
all you should have said from
Yeah,
the beginning.
okay.
Not start off
So
like
you said the biggest story is not a story to me, Ron.
Gail, biggest story that we missed over the break.
I would probably
I'd give mine,
say
but Earl took my shit away.
Dr. Phil's weird mansion.
Ugh!
He has a disgusting
What the
mansion
fuck?
that's up for sale, and it's some of the most hideous interior design I've ever seen in my life.
I wanted to do a reality show called Redneck Mansions because that's what he looks like. He looks like the jerk. Like, even when you get money, you're still a fucking idiot.
So this bar scene with this overgrown, like, banister with the
Snakes.
dripping. It's
They're
so
snakes.
disgusting.
That's
Then with
terrifying.
that blue light, oh, it's
And
hideous.
this is in Beverly Hills, and he lives like shit. And then just fucking automatic weapons all over.
I didn't know he was a gun guy. I mean,
I never thought he had a gun in his life.
And then look at what are these weird like anime characters that are on the out in his gun room?
yeah, that's like a fucking little bunny smoking, an anime bunny smoking a cigarette.
I'm like
And
a
you're
weird
gonna take
teddy bear.
advice from this fucking dick?
No,
He's got
never.
nothing but machine guns in this fucking
This
house.
I think
guy
of
is
Dr. Phil
nuts.
as just another reason I don't like Oprah. For bringing this fucker into our world.
Go back up there. Look at this weird floating egg chair.
Oh, yeah.
Right there.
That's a sex chair.
Just a weird floating sex chair in the middle of a hallway, across from some neon shit. Everything is. I mean, this is maybe the ugliest interior design I've ever seen.
Earl Douglas, which story did we miss over the break?
New York being named the rudest city in America, which I think is total horseshit.
Why?
Because we're not rude, we're just direct. We're not.
We're rude, dude. Why
I'm
can't we
rude.
fucking take credit for it? We've given the fucking history of U.S. the rudest fucking president we've ever had because he grew
Yep.
up here.
Yeah, he's pure New York.
Yeah.
There's no way around that shit.
People that I just laugh at the fact that people go, "Oh, we're not a rude." You're rude because there's 9 million. So what?
Yeah.
Why can't you own it? For once in your life, Earl, you and your shit fucking city take some responsibility for
I
yourself.
don't want to say hi to people on an elevator.
No, me neither.
I'm glad that we don't. And you know what? To me, it connects us to France. Everyone says the French are so rude. They're probably like us.
You know why? Because they're all so cool.
Yeah,
the
and they're
French
smoking
and New
and
Yorkers
having
are cool.
sex.
Yeah, but you know, I'm down at and when I'm down at my mom's house, people wave to you from a car, and I'm like, "Do you know them?" Everyone's like, "No." I go, "Why are they waving?" They're like, "You just saw somebody." Well, I would never stop waving in New York. I'd be waving constantly like a crazy
Hey.
person.
Hi.
So yes, we're rude, just like the French are rude.
Yeah.
We're rude dudes.
It's the Rude
Okay?
Dude Cast.
Yeah, we're rude dudes who got some food. Vito, what's the big story we missed over break? Look how
Star Wars a huge fucking bomb at the box office.
Now, you say it's a huge bomb, but it made $1 billion.
It was a mediocre expectation for the Disney Corporation. And let me tell you something to somebody who saw it. Even if you like Star Wars and you like that kind of shit, that was just bad storytelling and it made no fucking sense. And anybody who likes it, you're wrong. And that's not an opinion, that's just a fact.
Yeah, when I saw the G-Baby was not a fan. We ought to, by the way, do a year-end with him before we get to even the Oscars or anything. See if he wants to do a phoner. He's always back during Christmas when we're always gone. And he's from New York, and he's fucking rude.
Oh God,
He's a
yes.
rude dude.
Yeah. What's the Rude Dude podcast?
That's the.
It's the Rad Dude podcast.
Oh, say what you did, Chris.
Yeah, you
fucking
took it
word
from
played.
them.
He word played them.
That's
Well-
Jeff Stone and
You
Carl
fucked that
DeVito.
up. Yeah. You fucked that up, dude. You fucked it up bad.
That's Bobby's fault for not knowing the right name.
You gotta be the producer. Bobby's a fuck up. We all know that. Okay? I'm a fuck up. Florentine's a fuck up. That's why somebody's gotta come along and go, hey, let's get you guys to the show on time. I'd never show up on time. I wouldn't even face the audience. I'd be pointing the opposite direction. Hey, now, are we ending with the song today?
Earl, you didn't tell me.
Yes, we are.
What song?
In honor for our beautiful rude New Yorkers, I'm going to end with Vicious by Lou Reed.
No one's going to get that, though, are they?
It's too deep.
Here's what I think. Maybe we have an ending song. Because I don't know what he's doing. And then we end with Vicious, and then people are going to go, why are they playing that?
Like Earl
if he
gets it.
told us every day, you know what I mean? But he sneaks it in under my fucking skirt.
Also, it's his story that he picked. You know what I mean? It's
I
like,
know,
let's
and you
most-
said we weren't rude. And vicious and rude are two different things.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's a New Yorker who's been known
Why
to
did
be
you do
rude.
cruel to be kind?
Oh, in the right measure.
Right. No, do vicious. You can't go wrong. You can't please everybody, Earl. Okay, you're a rude, fucking, disgusting New Yorker.
Join us, Earl. Come on.
Join us. You're going to be in fucking Iran. Fucking
I'm not-
those fuckers to death.
Not going to Iran.
That, hear how rude he is? He doesn't even respect his
Hey,
country.
Chris, I support you.
He doesn't support the troops. You know what he supports? His drug habit. Which, by the way, you don't even do drugs anymore, and that was when you were at least fun and cool. What's the last time you took drugs?
It's been a while. I can't remember the last. Well, I think I took some ecstasy a few months ago.
Why don't you announce when you are? Bring a fucking interesting story to the air.
Okay.
Do some ecstasy tonight. Come in like, oh, we did ecstasy and my friend fell off a building. Thought he could fly. All right, we're going to be back here tomorrow. Tell people how to vote, Chris.
Go to theinterrobang.com. .com.
What's that?
Theinterrobang.com to vote for the year-end.
Don't yell at us. Fucking talk like a person.
The year-end comedy awards. You can vote for
awards.
You're going to vote for comedian of the year, best comedy movie, best hour special, best book written
Why
by a
aren't you
comedian.
bringing up who's leading, who they should be voting for?
For best
Instead
comedy.
of book, who gives a fuck about the book?
Don't even worry about the book. Comedy album is dead heat between Rich Voss and Shuley.
I'm going to be honest with you, it's not a dead heat.
Oh, really? Well, go to the interrobang.com. You can still vote. Also, for late night host, Jimmy Fallon is in trouble.
What? You're not making sense.
That doesn't make sense.
Best hour special, comedian of the year.
Yeah, what about it?
That's an
Can
hour
Shane
special
Gillis do it?
Ken Shane.
Can Shane Gillis do it?
You just said Ken Shane.
Interrobang.com.
The Bennington Show has ended, but you can always listen to it on demand on the SiriusXM app.